So yeah, so what we were talking about and the chart that I put on crypto chat, right? It was with the fresh, obviously yearly levels printed on, and you guys remember what we went over in our sessions, right? For core. Again, if you don't remember what I'm talking about, go back and look at the recording. Um, but like I said, whichever side shows control at the fresh yearly determines which next yearly level you go to. Which side showed control? Well, ultimately, no matter how you look at it, what we've been having ever since January started, right, is buyers defending above the fresh yearly, right? So buyers are defending above the fresh yearly. Guess what you do? Up and until you lose the fresh yearly, you don't go short, right? This was why I was saying it doesn't matter if you think you're bullish or bearish. You're talking just technicals. The next target, as long as you stayed above this, was I gave you guys the range. It was 93,455. We pretty much hit it. For me, that's a hit, right? It's a little bit of a front run, so that's what it is. We've gone to the fresh yearly. Again, if you don't remember what this particular thing is about, go back to core recordings, second session, right? And then that is where this particular piece of alpha is. Since I'm going to be putting this on YouTube, I don't want to go and explicitly say what it is, right? Because it's one of my own things. But you guys have access to it, so if you don't remember, just go and take a look at it. Fire, bro! Amazing trade. I've not added to anything yet because I've got a long open from 81, so I've not like messed around with that. But if I was opening if I've taken a trade on a separate account, that was the easiest long ever, right? It's like invalidation couldn't be easier. Like you see a actual definitive loss of the fresh yearly, you get out. But until then, there is no reason to be bearish of a fresh yearly level. There just isn't. Because just think about what it means. It means that that one particular line in the sand has been created over 2025, right? So you've got to give respect to that particular level. Hello, Gail. Welcome in. Nice. We've got a pretty packed stream today. Malaran, welcome, brother. He's our newest member, guys. Malaran joined a day or two ago. He'll be with when I do the next batch of core and advanced, which will start. I'll have to give a proper date for that, but it'll start soon. Yeah, as a newest member. Yeah, if you have any questions, anything like that, bro, just a lot of people in the server like know what they're doing, right? You're in good hands here. So I'm not the only source of information you have here. So yeah, feel free to use crypto chat, all the different areas, even if it's stocks, even if it's commodities. A lot of people here know what they're doing. So, like I said, if you need help, you're not gonna find it online because everything's going to be based on my own system. So, but within this group, you'll find loads of people who know what they're doing with it now. But there we go, right? Fresh early, as long as you're above, you don't take a short. Because there's no reason to. Until you go and turn this level to resistance, there is no reason to be bearish, right? That's the whole thing I put in crypto chat as well. And this is the whole, the 3-hour case study. We went everyone that's done core, and the second session buy seller zones. We go over, and I show you guys. Look, no matter which year it is, this particular fact holds true, right? And again, go back to the actual recording to know what the sort of edge is. I'm not going to explicitly say it since I'll be putting this video out publicly, but you guys have access to it, right? So if you forgot, just go take a look. But if you now go see weakness around 93,466, you have a good reason for anyone that long tail, even if you didn't long. If you see weakness here, if you see inverted smiley faces even on the lower time frame, some bearish divergences coming in, some trap buyers, you have reasons to take shorts from up over here. You don't have to target 87, right? You just stay in that short. Like if it's a scalp, you stay in that short until you see buyers once again stepping in, sellers not being rewarded. That's it, right? It's a reactive trade, right? But that is the area where you fire that shorts off and base that short around. The risk management for the shorts, everything. You start flipping above this and holding above, don't short. It's as simple as that. In fact, if you see sellers attempting to, break the price down, but you keep holding above, that's a reason for you. If you're not long from down here, that's your next area you're gonna long, right? Even if you zoom out, you can see clearly resistance, support, right? Bare basics. So you start getting above here, you're looking for 96 to 98k finally, and that's the one target I've been given since November, right? Well, not since November, sorry, since November, since that low came in, because that is T1 we haven't hit yet of your wave structure now. You have a massive M shape. The 886 has been hit, and this is also Another reason I've been saying, do not put all your eggs into BTC definitely has to crash basket, right? Because the fact of the matter is, on the monthly, like we've been saying, this has the potential to be another higher low. And guess what? If this is a higher low on the monthly, your higher time frame trend is still intact. So you would absolutely not be surprised if BTC from here somehow rallied, right? And put a new high in. You would not be surprised. And this is what we've been talking about until that monthly trend is broken, right? You have on the high time frame, I'm talking monthly and above, on the proper high time frame, on the swing basis, trend is still intact. That has not been broken yet, right? And that remains to be the case, right? So if this does end up being a higher low, you will not be surprised with a new all-time high on BTC on 2026, right? It might seem contradictory right now because we've had so much bearish news and bearish sentiment recently, but that's the one reason I've been saying, right? We had easy line in the sand for risk management, right? The proper line in the sand I gave you guys was, if you lose this level, for now you don't have to be in anything because your weekly trend has shifted, right? Your weekly trend has shifted, and below this yearlies, you just wait until the structure gets on your side. Structure was bearish, right? It was undoubtedly bearish, locally speaking, even on the weekly, on things like the daily. Structure was bearish, right? Which is why we offloaded so much and went cash heavy as soon as this happened, right? But obviously, we took profits on the way up, but going cash heavy was when that particular moment happened. But after there's such a big drop down, which has still given you a higher low on the monthly, right? And at significant areas, it's not like it's happening in the middle of nowhere. You can't just then be like, oh, we definitely have to go to 50 straight away. Right, you might go all the way up to 96 to 98 before you decide, right? If the weekly trend is in fact going to continue, we're gonna know around these key levels, right? If it doesn't and you start flipping this into support, what next? Well, you just go level by level at that point, and next thing you know, you wouldn't be surprised from a setup like this if you start building above 110 again. And guess what? If you start building above 110 again, you're not gonna stop here, in my opinion. Right, you start getting above this, you're blasting these people out. That's the way I see it. So this is why, I always preach 3 things. Number 1, learn to find significant levels, right? You guys probably bored to death hearing me say this every single stream, but I'll keep repeating it no matter how many times people need to hear it. Number 1, learn to find significant levels. Number 2, learn to analyze price action around significant levels. And number 3, learn to take risk managed entries based on your price action analysis around your significant levels. That's the only 3 things you need to do, whether it's on the short term or the long term, to be a successful trader. On a scalp, there's obviously more that comes to it, right? Because we have more moving parts if you're being reactive. But the general blueprint is that it hasn't changed, nor has it changed in all the times I spent in the market. It hasn't changed. This is years and years and years of experience boiled down to 3 simple facts, and you don't have to overcomplicate it. Just boil it down to that, right? So let's see what happens. You start building above 93,455, right? 93,455. The 2025 12-month seller zone low. The 2025 6-month, the first half of 2025, a high, right? You start building above that level. T1 gets hit, and then we can see, right? Maybe we get a type to return, right? Who knows? Maybe we get some sort of elongated type to return, right? Going into something like a quick drop into like February to really make people think this is over, which then gives us maybe bullish divergence or something, right? And then you sort of reclaim and you smiley face it to the upside to T2 and above, or maybe you just straight up blast above, start building above, chop, and then go, who knows, right? But before we get to 96 to 98k, which has always been a very crucial target for us, right? We have still that monster that we've been dealing with all this time, 93,455 to contend with. Obviously, there's a zone here. We can see there's a zone. But if you want to line in the sand, just make it 93,455. You get above that, 96 to 98k. You get above that, 100,876. You get above that, there's nothing stopping you from another $6,000 jump to 106 to 109. You get above that, 110, you're making new all-time highs on BTC. That is the framework. Obviously, all those resistances need to be taken. But if they do and buyers succeed, that is the framework to new all-time highs on BTC. Otherwise, those are the areas where you look for those fails from the buyers to then hedge back to the downside, right? You take your shorts, you add to your shorts if you're already short from high and you see another macro lower high forming. But the lines, they've been on the screen for ages, right? It's not like I wake up one day and, whatever, just draw a random line because I think this is the next key level. And these lines have been here. Obviously the 2025 ones are the newer ones since we've got the yearly close, but the 2024 ones have been here now for more than a year, right? The 2023 ones have been here for more than 2 years, so on and so forth. These lines haven't changed, right? And that's the key thing about significant levels. If you have true significant levels on your screen, you will not need to change them. So let's see what happens here. It's as simple as that, right? On the lower time frame, if anyone's looking to scalp short, it's going to be around 93.455. I do think you're going to stab up into that, right? I don't think you're going to just... I mean, if it's a front run, it's a front run. But realistically, I do think you're going to stab up into there. You're going to go rate this high at some point, stab up, and then after that, you can judge. Based on the distributive structure or whether actually buyers relent, sellers relent, which side relents, you decide, are you going to go for the short or are you going to perhaps try to go for a sneaky long for continuation to the upside, right? But that is BTC. Extremely simple, right? Very, very simple for you guys, especially like in the stream right now. This is going to be very simple stuff because unless, like I said, you're someone new who hasn't actually gone through core yet, we've done this now, right? We looked at case studies. I've literally gone through Bitcoin since its inception, year on year basis, week on week basis with you guys. And every single time, this one fact that's played out has played out, right? So that's why I give you guys this in crypto chat as soon as we got the yearly close saying, right, you build above, as long as you're holding above 87,553, don't even think about opening up a big short. There just is no reason to. You'd be targeting the next yearly level. We've got that now, right? Isn't it beautiful to actually have like a piece of edge and you see that playing time and time again, right? So that's BTC. Any questions, guys, before I move on? Ooh, fire. Very, very nice, bro. You guys are some monsters in here. Gail, welcome in. If you guys have no questions, I'll carry on. Especially Gail, you're an absolute beast, honestly. You'll be pulling out like, you'll be pulling out PNLs, like mind-melting PNLs on coins I don't even know exist. It's amazing. It's amazing to see, honestly. You're inspiring. Yeah, I know you mentioned you use Velo for that a lot. Velo is honestly so good to catch those, especially based on daily volume, weekly volume. Yeah, Gail's a beast. Got another sleeper in here. So many of you guys, like so many of you, Edico, Duke yourself, right? Because obviously I know many of you trade but don't really like share stuff as well. Because I know people in here like to be private. Like that's completely fine. But if I don't say a name, by no means am I saying you're not a good trader. But just people who like share pianos publicly and stuff, like Rohan, Edico, Duke, Gail. You guys, amazing, honestly. Jasper, yourself as well too, bro. Of course. That's what I like about this. We've got a big sleeper here, all right? Ronnie, I know you like to keep yourself private, but this girl is an absolute beast, right? Pulling off what doctors make in 10 years on just one ZEX spot trade is insane. She's very humble. She's typing what? She's gonna say something humble. Yeah, see? Nah. It was a one-on-one session, right? I gave you like, I just told you what I saw on the charts, but you're the one who pulled the trigger. You're the one who like, went through the emotional turmoil of holding for months and months and months. Actually, a year something without getting on it. That's you. That's not me. So, yeah, UPS. We'll go over that. UPS looks good, right? I'm watching the structure. So we'll go over stocks as well. We'll go over crypto. We'll look at ETH. We'll look at two more. One or two I mentioned in crypto chat yesterday as well. But yeah, let's see if you guys have no more questions. Let's go through with it. Okay, just give me one sec, guys. Yeah, UPS was absolutely insane. I showed this ones with my friends IRL as well after you mentioned it, bro, because the chart looks crazy. And the crazy thing is, you're just getting started. Like in what you've got there, you can literally treat it like a scalp, right? This thing is just getting started. If the macro structures to play out, UPS is just getting started. So we'll take a look at that properly again. But yeah, okay, that's BTC. So you guys know where the next line in the sand is, right? Don't keep it very, very simple. You know where the next line in the sand is. It's 93,455. If you're going to take shorts, it's going to be around that level. If you're going to take longs, it's going to be around that level. If you want the, or rather, if you want the best sort of like RR opportunity, it's going to be around price action that comes in around that level. I can't see them front running it like this. That'd be diabolical if they did. And of course, don't forget the volume-based levels on Binance and Coinbase as well, right? We'll go over that now real quick while we're looking at BTC volume profile. Where is it? Here we go. Okay, so volume-based levels real quick on. So I need to go to main for BTC. I'm talking Coinbase, I believe, on this one. One sec, guys. I've got too many lists. Way too many lists. Let's just do this. Let's go to master list and type in. Coinbase is underrated to chart on. Should be this. Yeah, there we go. That's been floating there all this time. Okay. Don't forget these levels. I shared them in the BTC specific section. These are your volume-based levels based on Coinbase. Okay. So if you guys want a complete picture of key levels, use your volume based on Coinbase. Use your volume based on Binance, right? Spot. Obviously, if you prefer Bybit, so on and so forth, you can go for that as well. But Coinbase and Binance would be the two big ones in my opinion if you want volume-based levels. And then use your yearly buy seller zones, key inflection areas in conjunction. If you do that, you do not need anything else, right? But 95 to 96 is a big level for us to watch. Okay, that is a level we do need to get above. Given the fact that we have this area that we keep rejecting off here, if we are to actually have one more drop down, I would actually expect, like, maximum we get is around 96 something, right? And then we flush to create maybe bullish divergences, maybe a tap to return, and then higher. Wouldn't be surprised with that. But if you compare this to, we were over at this one. Yeah, if you compare this to here, right? T1 begins at 96. Well, obviously, if you count the front run, we've got levels even lower. But actual T1's at 98,038. Right, so between 96 to 98 is the zone you're watching for, not just in terms of your actual harmonic measurement, but also in terms of, put it back, also in terms of this, right? We've got 96,665, standard deviation 1.5 of your volume-based key area for your last macro impulse. Right, so if you get above that, 107 is the next level on Coinbase, but let's also not forget, if I go back to volume-based, which is here, yes, and then I'll go to Binance. Let's not forget the Binance levels either. We want to use these two in conjunction. You could do this with CME if you wanted to, right? I know that's something I've not really done before, but you can do it with CME if you want to. But in terms of Binance, here we are. Okay. We go to the 4 hours for the most optimum set of results. Actually, let's go to the 1 hour. Come on. There we go. Okay. 99 to 102. So what can you take from this? Right? Well, heavy standard deviation 1.5 on Binance. And as you can see, once the yearly low was held, right, yearly low was held around, when was the yearly low again? The yearly low was, one sec. Let's drag this all the way up. Just give me a moment, guys. It's going to be here somewhere. Yeah, I'll just put it here. Once the yearly low was held on 87,553, you can see what happened is we went 87,553, somewhere around here. We went, and what did we do next? We flipped standard deviation 1.5 of Binance into support, because that's the next quote-unquote key level we had, right? After that, we've come back up, and now what we're posturing up against is 93,455. Should we go over 93,455? The next key level then is what? Above 93,455, we have that 96 area. That's it. 95,792 to 96,665, right? Which lines up with the 0.34 of our T1, right? Above 96 is 98. Above 98, we have 100. But we also have 107, right, on Coinbase. And we have 99 to 102 on Binance. So basically, if we manage to get above 96 to 98, we can see why this is such a big area. Right, on the macro, it would just make so much sense for this to be the area we go to. So we're going to keep this into account, which is also why, should we ever flip 99 to 102 into support, the next key area straight away becomes what? 107. If you get above 107, then the next key area will once again come to 110, which is also the level that's in the yearlies, right? If you go up here, look, 107-ish, right? Above that, 110. Above 110, you are cleared for new all-time highs, in my opinion. There is nothing stopping you. You've got like, you got 116 on Binance, but that's about it, right? You got a couple point of controls for your impulse down, but if you manage to get above that 110 sort of area here, you can see there's not much holding you back from actually going up, because these are pretty weak highs now, right? These are pretty weak highs. Like if they got above 110, it would make so much sense to just generate liquidity by stopping all of these people out and then crashing it down or something, right? So the hard part, in my opinion, is going to be to actually get to 110 to begin with. We've got so much to deal with to get there structure-wise, right? But once we do that, BTC is cleared. It becomes much easier, basically. But that is all for BTC. Like I said, I'm not going to take up too much of your guys' time, right? So check back, that's fine. Okay, let's go and look at Ethereum next, right? We'll just take a look at, first actually, let's take a look at ETH against BTC, because one cannot tell me that this isn't looking juicy. ETH against BTC. I would hate for this to capitulate before we go higher. It might still, who knows, right? Because if BTC is going to be taking the spotlight for a while, then it very easily can. But the fact of the matter is, we have a completed M shape. We have an actual bat, right? Yeah, that's a bit deep, but it's mainly about this, right? We have a completed bat within trend, right? Trend is clearly to the upside for now on ETH against BTC. We haven't hit T1 yet, right? That's not been hit yet. So if you can maintain this trend, as long as you're above the value area, right? Even if you do this, I don't care if this happens. All I care about is, let's not go and lose that red line, that bright orange line. Let's not go and lose that, because it's such an important level, right? That's the macro point of control. As long as you're above that, anything you're building above is just noise, right? It's just noise. The true move happens when if this happens and you start turning this to resistance, that's when you have a shot at going way deeper. That's what you don't want to see. As long as you're above this, it doesn't matter if it goes up, it goes down. You're looking for high ultimately, right? So this is the line in the sand you don't want to lose. But Ethereum, nice pump alongside Bitcoin, alongside pretty much everything yesterday. Metals was pumping, right? Stocks was going. ETH, of course, crypto was going along with it. Finally, a bit of green into the new year. But if we take a look at Ethereum, I need to expand the historical price ranges. I need to put more yearlies down. Have I done so? Let's take a look. ETH. Okay, I've only got a historical price range chart right now on Ethereum actually. And it's not been updated? No, it's not. Do you know what I'll do, guys, is I'll build out the ETH chart off stream so it saves time, and I'll get that back to you guys, right? But if we take a look here, let me turn some things off. Let me turn the price range off. Harmonics is fine. What we have here is still the old ETH chart, the same chart why I told you guys to enter back in April. We got that entry. We got that second entry over there. That's the same chart. We're back above the historical price range 3 mid. As long as you're above that, we know what happens, right? You're looking to 3,000. As long as you're above the historical price range 3 mid, in line with the buy seller zone. So if I just do that real quick, there you go. As long as you're above this mid, well, your first target would be 3335, but ultimately you're targeting 3581 to 4028. As long as you remain, right? That's the key thing. As long as you remain above 3038. If you get below that, again, you wouldn't be surprised if eventually you went back down to 2200, right? If this grey box is lost. Yes, we've got yearlies there, but in terms of range, you're either here. Let me do that again. In terms of range, you're either on the lower range or you're in the upper range. And currently, we're on the upper range, right? As long as you're above the mid, you're on the upper range above that mid. So you wouldn't be surprised to see ETH one day at 3581 to 4028 again. You wouldn't. Okay, to get above that, we do need to get above this, and I still have to put the yearly levels, fresh yearly levels on this, but you guys know how to do that, right? You guys know how to put the buy seller zones on. So, feel free, just do that in your own time, and then you can, based around that and our previous levels, are we going to go higher, are we going to go lower? But by the looks of these things, same as Bitcoin, the 2025 yearly level that was created would have been held as support, right? Buyers would have taken control. That's why we're having the nice pump up towards the next yearly level, and we haven't hit the target yet. But Ethereum, honestly, as long as you're above historical price range 3 mid, looks good. right? Because don't forget, the trend on this is still to the upside for now. This is not a downtrend, right? By no means is this a downtrend, right? Because low, high, right? High, low, there's a high, high. So if this comes on to be another high, low, guess what? ETH is going to go put on the high, high in, right? Don't fade the trend. People are so zoomed in on the 4 hours, for example, or the hourly, right? If you want proper time frame, like in terms of swings, fuck it, just start from the yearly, bro. Start from the yearly and then work your way down. Yearly looks, well, you can't really glean much from the yearly, but it's been, you know, the lows are getting higher over time, right? Then you drop it to the 6 months, right? What's the 6 months? The 6 months by no means looks weak right now. It doesn't look strong in the sense that, you know, this is not like a absolute just green candle fest, but it's not weak either, right? And then you go to something like the 3 months, and you cannot argue with that 3 month trend, right? Low, high, high, low, higher, high. We're looking for a higher low on the 3 months, right? Your quarterly, you're literally looking for a higher low. 4 months, low, high, right? Low, high, higher low, higher high. You're watching for a higher low on the 4 months, right? And even on the 6 months, you could argue like there's a low, there's a high low, right? We put a higher high in technically right over here on the 6 months, right? So, you know, we're looking for a higher low, but we don't have enough data yet to get a clean trend on the 6 months, right? So it only really becomes visible from the 4 month onwards. But, and then you know, drop you all the way down to the monthly, and it becomes very obvious. You have the low, you have the high, you have the higher low, right? You have the higher high. So now we just watch for another high low to come in. And if the high low is vindicated, which, you know, there's no reason why this couldn't be, right? There's no reason why this couldn't be. If this is it, then the just simple trend analysis would dictate that you look for another higher high, right? It's as simple as that. So even ETH, in terms of a trend analysis basis on the higher time frame, nothing is broken on Ethereum, right? Nothing. So there's that. Let's see how this plays out, right? Which is why I'm still hopeful on ETH against BTC. Now, like I said, if you lose that mid, then you have the argument for, okay, we could come all the way back down to key inflection area again. But even if we get Ethereum at 2282 to 2030 again, then the argument for why you would buy there, as long as this level holds, increases even more, because now you aren't looking at a weekly smiley, right? One sec, bro, Jordan, I'm just gonna mute you real quick for a bit, brother, because I'm hearing my voice back at me. Oh, they're perfect. No worries, done it. Welcome in, bro. Shadow, welcome in, bro. But if we get back down here on Ethereum, right? Now just imagine this. We've already looked at this on like a weekly perspective, right, or a daily perspective. We're like, oh, look at that beautiful smiley. On the daily, we've got that smiley. That was the reason for this entry on spot now for the challenge account, right, when we did it in June. Now, if you revisit this area and it holds, you have not just a daily argument, you have a quarterly argument. Here's your boom. If we get it and this holds, that is a cumulative. And guess what? It would still be a higher low with a quarterly smiley face, right? Probably even a triannual smiley face. Yeah, there you go. So obviously, like, you know, what I would want is, yeah, don't give us that drop, because, you know, just keep sending it up, you know, easy mode, everyone gets money, right? But obviously, if it's not going to be that easy and we are going to get further drops, you lose that mid, that would be where you look for that smiley face. And as long as this holds, that's where you would bid more. Simple. Structure wise, that's where support is. Resistance, support, right? Support, smiley face on the 3 months now. That'd be amazing if we got it on ETH. Right? It'd be pain on the short term, because obviously anyone bag holding or anyone that, for example, bought like 4,700 Ethereum, right? They're going to be more than half in their value. It's going to be painful, right? But obviously, if we've been clever about it and we actually bought at the right time and we took profits at the right time, because we know we have a 786 1.272 there, right? As long as you've done that, which we did in this group, then all we're looking for is, okay, as long as you're above this, that's a buy opportunity within validation that as long as the mid is not lost, we're targeting this. But if the mid is lost, then we don't do anything until, we get actual structure at this cluster of yearly level / the proper area we want, which is the key inflection area. Right, so let's take a look at how ETH performs as well. But honestly, ETH looks good. There's nothing about this chart that makes me think, oh yeah, Ethereum is done for. This looks good. Trend is higher highs and higher lows. We just need confirmation, some sort of move, right? Some sort of decisive move, some sort of bullish engulfing candle, some sort of like massive buying that shifts this local daily downtrend back to like an uptrend or something. That's all we need. We need to take out this. If you take that out and start putting high lows in, that'd be so much more convincing that we're probably not going to get that, and maybe we're just going to, like, maintain trend and eventually go back to the upside. Right, we just need that sort of structure to follow through. Structure hasn't cooked yet, basically. We're still waiting on structure for confirmation. But even looking at the most local of moves, right? There's your 786. You have at least a butterfly in you, in my opinion. 1.272 is going to take you basically to the top. Yeah, it's basically going to take you. So you have a PRZ for there, and obviously if you extend to the 1.414, that takes you to your 2024 12-month seller zone high, right? So obviously this harmonic isn't complete yet. Remember, harmonics are not complete until the D point gets hit, but it's a wave structure that's potentially under progress, right? So there's reasons why, we could be aiming for these levels up here on Ethereum. And the key thing is, this is what you would be targeting for, as long as you're above this grey box. I cannot give you timing. I cannot give you certainty. What I can tell you is, as long as you keep maintaining this as support, the probability of resolution being to the upside rather than the downside is much higher. If you go and start turning this to resistance, then obviously it's not even anything. It's not rocket science. It's just logic, right? The probability of resolution is going to be way more likely to the downside than it is to the upside. This is, again, what I mean, going back to what I said earlier. Learn to find significant levels. Learn to analyze price action around significant levels. Learn to take risk-managed trades around significant levels. This is your line in the sand right now, this zone. As long as you're above that, you wouldn't be targeting this with certainty. You're not going to target anything with certainty when you're trading. It's all probabilistic, in my opinion, but statistics-wise, right, in terms of probability, the chances of resolution are much higher to the upside, as long as your buyer's in control of this. Right? So as long as you're above this, you're not going to be sat there thinking, oh yeah, this is going to drop from a random level and just go to 2,200. That doesn't make sense, right? If you were to tell me, oh, this looks very good for 2,200 because we've broken down and we've turned this to resistance, yes, I 100% agree with you. But as long as we're using this as support, and you tell me, oh yeah, we're going to 2K next, why? Because you've tried multiple times, and every single time, well, the yearly's been defended, and then high lows have been put in, and yes, we're in a downtrend on the daily, sure. But like we said, the actual significant time frames like the quarterly and the monthly, so on and so forth, are all in uptrends, right? And this is as good a level as any to put an uptrend in. At the end of the day, it's what used to be resistance is now turning into support, right? So that could be the next high low that sends us way higher in the next 3 months, right? The next quarterly candle. So there is no good reason if someone tells me with chess, well, we're definitely going to go drop to 2K. It makes no sense. Above this, it makes no sense. There needs to be a reason behind why you're doing something. If you're talking as a technical trader, there needs to be a reason behind why you're coming up with a certain outcome, right? And above this significant level, again, the last time I say this, the probability of resolution is much higher to the upside than it is to the downside, okay, above this particular key level. Again, don't forget, this is where M shapes have also completed, right? Here we go. We literally have M-shaped completions over here, right? 786, 821s, they've all been hit. We can do this. And in fact, I think the better one would be to do this, because that would give us... Actually, no, that's not deep enough. I swear I had a really good M-shape for this one. 1 second, guys. I'm bugging out. I know there's a butterfly here somewhere. I know there's a hop somewhere here if you take it from up over here. But this right here is a 786, right? Don't forget, we have hit a 786. Obviously, when you have a shallow retracement like this, you're wanting the final level you're looking for is 886, but it's all in context. What I'm trying to show you guys here is based on that very real high low, we have hit deep. That's deep retracement. 786 is a deep retracement, right? It's a very, very deep retracement. Is it happening? Do we have that? Is that 786 correlative with anything else? Yes, a load of yearly levels. So there is no reason why this couldn't be the high low, for example. Do I think it is? I've got no idea, right? Because the daily hasn't even flipped to an uptrend yet, so the daily could keep, sellers could keep pressuring to go down on the daily. That's very real right now. But all I'm saying is, above this, you would be ultimately looking to get up here, right? That yearly first, and if you get above that, there. Below this, you're just aiming for that cluster and ultimately that PRC. It's as simple as that, right? So that's Ethereum. So Bitcoin looks good, and for now, above this, Ethereum looks good as well. ETH against BTC, just going sideways for now, right? ETH really waiting to really catch that rotation again. But don't forget the macro structures ETH is in, right? We hit the first one. We were looking at that 0.786, 1.272 for the longest time, right? We were looking at this for the longest time. We hit that. That was literally the high. Gave us a drop. And, you know, if you take that A to D, for example, right? If we were to take that, you know, I'm sure we've hit at least a 0.5, right? Let me just quickly... this is going to look a bit messy, but just give me a moment while I see where we've gone to. I'm going to delete it straight away. Alright, so this one. Yeah, we've hit a 0.5, right? Bang on. We've nearly hit the front run, in fact. So, you know, we've had a deep retracement, right? We've had a deep retracement. And remember, if you're bullish, you don't want, like, you know, 618s. You don't. If you're bullish, ideally you want 382s to be hit and then buyers to step in. If you're bearish, you want 382s to be hit and then sellers step in, right? We've gone to the front run of the golden pocket, basically. So, you know, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they decided, it doesn't have to be a new high on Ethereum, right? But, you know, 4,000s, like 3,500 to 4,000s is the next area you'd aim for. Above 3,335, as long as you're above this gray zone. There's one line in the sand, and that's the zone. Ultimately to the 1.272 to the 1.414 at the top half of the box. That is Ethereum. And then from there, we can, you know, reconvene and be like, okay, well, from there, we might get like a deeper pullback again, which obviously the daily would have shifted trend, right? So then a high low gets confirmed, and then after that, we send up. That could happen, right? Otherwise, you know, we might get another lower high somewhere around here, right? Something like this, another lower high, and you have a very easy reason and a very easy level to head short around. But no matter what you do it around key levels. That way, you're not just throwing, you know, darts blind, right? Shooting in the dark, so to speak. So basically, if you're ETH bull, pray that this grey box is maintained. You don't want to get back below it, right? Because if you get below it, chances are you go much lower here. If as long as you're above it, chances are you end up filling all the way to the upside over here. Right. So that is Ethereum, right? We've already looked at Solana. I did the Solana stream just for you guys, the private stream. That's on the private YouTube link that you guys have access to. So my thoughts on Solana are there. Let's quickly look at some totals, actually. Well, total, coming to the supply line. And don't forget the context on total either. Guys, that brush, that was done ages ago, but here it is. Don't forget, we have a actual completed shark here on total 1, okay? 2.8 to 2.87 trillion. We have a completed shark. So, for that completed shark, that's a bullish structure, right? Obviously now a bullish shark can lead to a bearish 5-0, and we do not want that to be the case whatsoever in this particular moment. So with that being said, let me just go ahead and draw that bearish 5-0 on for you. Here, 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 right? In this case, we're just going to go to the 1.13. 2.34 is what we need this to say. That's close enough. 0.5 is going to be right over here. So that bearish 5-0 level around 3.54 trillion, you can see why. That's going to be an important one to watch. But so if that bearish 5-0 hits and you start seeing once again signs that sellers are taking control, you know that there's a very good area for you to take profits across your holdings again. Like, you know, open up some head shorts, because a bullish shark can lead to a bearish 5-0, which can, you know, it can send you back all the way down to your original like PRZ again. Right? It might lead to a higher low, who knows, locally speaking. But if not, then we have the very, very real level to watch. We have a zone, basically, 3.54 trillion to 3.72 trillion on total 1. All we need to do is get above 3.32 trillion for that to be a real thing, right? But again, we have a completed M shape, right? And off the back of that completed M shape, we could very easily, even if it's a dead cat bounce, you can make a lot of money on those dead cat bounces, right? Coins can still move a lot, basically. Total 2, getting above that very key level. Look, range highs, right? Range highs. Once again, look what you've been doing, right? Absolutely beautiful. Obviously, right now, you're looking to SFP that top zone, which we don't want. We want it to be a full-on reclaim, right? And things like this matter. We can't just look at the general structure. You have to look at it in context. This, expand it to the right. There we go. But that mitigated supply zone order block, whatever this is, this looks to be a mitigated order block, to be honest with you. Yeah, mitigated order block, right? If you can reclaim that into support, look, you've literally just been going sideways. Basically, this used to be an area where we're saying, okay, based on this footprint, sellers are in control of this area. You were vindicated here, dropped, right? And then you got that flip, and we caught, that moved back to the upside, right? In 2025 January, that was all sense. We talked about that one, and then you turn this back into resistance before you dropped hard, right? Makes sense, because an area where once sellers were in control is once again an area where sellers is in control. What you're saying, same here. You flip down to support, and now you're flipping that entire zone. You've been going sideways. You're trying to flip that entire zone into an area where buyers are in support. Remember, sellers were very clearly in support there before. No questions asked. But now, you've been going sideways. You've been consolidating at what used to be big resistance, right? Now, if we can just resolve this consolidation to the upside, total 2 looks fantastic. Because look, low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, right? What's stopping you from going to the next higher high? And the next high high, in my opinion, would be 2.06 to 2.14 trillion. That's always been the line in the sand. Because remember, these macros, they've not hit yet. Right? These are the macros we've been talking about for years now. They have not hit yet. Right? So we still have that going for us. And for example, if this is the low, right? We have this low here to this high. To this high low, we are talking about a 685. So in terms of actual, this is either front run of a 707, or you just take this as a 618. I'm going to take this as a 618 because the 618 is what's actually been hit, right? So 618 to the 1.618. So for now, I'm going to take this as a 618 retracement. Let's zoom in a bit, hang on. And again, I know wicks go lower, but I do not give a shit about wicks, right? You guys know how I function. I'm not like a pure, like harmonic fundamentalist, right? I'm just adapting it to my system, right? Keeping the core rules intact. All I'm saying is, there's a 618. Was that 618 respected? Well, if I was to go get that level, and I was to go ahead and put that level down, right over here, right? And then just turn it to blue. Was the 618... What have I done? Oh wait, sorry guys, I put the wrong in. This is going to be this one, no? Because I put the completion point in there, which is fine and all, but I want... That's the one, there you go. Okay. So forget about all the other lines, just this. Was that 618 respected? Hell yeah, look, you don't have a single candle body close below the 618 on the weekly. So for me, that 618 is completely valid. I do not care with wick below. I'm going to take the actual wave structure, C point completion as the 618. Right, just how I like to do things. So if you're looking for the 618, you're going for a 1.618 on the extension, right? Which is going to take us, again, we have another reason why. If bias can really come through here, right? We're looking at new highs on total 2. On a macro basis, wait a minute. Did I just delete something? There you go. Yeah, I thought I did. We're looking at new highs on total 2. You have the macro ABCD 1.272. You now have this current 618 to 1.618, as long as that 618 isn't violated, right? Because remember, this ABCD is not complete until the D point hits. And then we also have the macro ABCD 1.272, 1.618 there. So total 2 looks fantastic. If bias can step in here, we're literally saying what used to be an area where there was a footprint left behind, that this was huge selling going on, is now an area of support. So let's just start seeing candle body closes above 1.27 trillion. That's all we need. Build above 1.27 trillion, we send. That's what I want to see. And that doesn't mean that, okay, as soon as we go above, we're going to do this in one candle, right? We can do this, we can chop around, but even if this chop, as long as it's wicks, you get candle body closes above this zone, that's the important thing. Remember, for swings, it takes time to play out. There is no guarantees on timing. All you care about is relative to your key levels on swings, right? Now, where is this from? This is from that high to that low, yeah. Primary projection, yes, that's fine. Okay, so total 2. Right, you can do the same for total 3. You can do the same for others. Are total 3 already above, right? Also, total 3 looks even better than total 2 in the sense that, look, you're already above your mitigated order block from bear market, right? Building above it like a champ. Even this supply zone, building above it, right? You're building above everything you need to be on total 3. So, it's just a matter of step laddering above the jellies for total 3. That's it. Otherwise, total 3 sends higher too. Look at the trend. You cannot mistake this trend. This is not, people look at this and think, oh, we look terrible. No, we don't look terrible. What about this looks terrible to you? Yes, we've got some failed highs. But if you're talking as a pure trend trader, right? There's your low, there's your high, low. And obviously, like on a macro, there's that, right? And on a macro, you can argue there's your next higher high, we might get a higher low. Who cares about that though? Because is your local trend still intact? There's no point talking about the macro trend if the local trend is still intact. And the fact of the matter is, here's a low, here's a high, here's a higher low, here's a higher high, here's a higher low, here's another higher high. So if this ends up being the next higher low, what's stopping us from putting another higher high in line with the trend, right? There isn't much. The reason, the reason this looks good is because we're in an uptrend, right? If the argument was this, we'd done this, and then we were looking to go above, I'd be saying, okay, you're looking for a lower high, guys, right? Because the last high low that led to the higher high has been taken out, but that hasn't happened yet. It hasn't. So again, it's one of those ones. So on the way down, obviously, I'm going to tell you guys to be careful because you're free falling with no structure, right? You're slipping past key levels, no one's stepping in. That's why we've been so risk off on crypto for the last few months, right? But when you now hit these key areas like this, and that's also why I sent that message just before Christmas, around Christmas time, I think, right? I said, yeah, we've been like, in the gutter, but now many of these coins are areas where if you're looking to trade them or you're looking to buy spot, they're very good areas, right? That's the message I sent you guys in Christmas. And the reason for that is because when price actions like this start coming in at key areas, I'm not then just going to be like, oh yeah, guys, sit on your hands and wait for the next key level. Well, if this is where the price action correlation is happening, then you're going to take a chance at that particular area. Because we don't know where the low is going to be. We don't know whether this is going to hold or not, right? All we can do is look at what's happening in real time and make a move in real time. It's all good being a hindsight trader, but hindsight traders don't make money. They're just there to show you charts after the move and lot, right? If you're a real-time trader, you know how difficult it is to manage your emotions, even if everything's bearish, to be like, okay, maybe I actually should buy some here, right? So on and so forth. Or maybe I should sell here, even though the whole timeline's bullish, so on and so forth, right? It's only hindsight traders that, perfectly call every move. Like, real traders know you're shitting it, half the time it's sad they're absolutely shitting your pants, not being able to go to sleep because you're like, okay, I've got this, is it going to go my way or not? No matter how disciplined you are, you still have money on the line, right? So it's difficult, but that's why we have a system in place, because we understand that this is probabilistic. We aren't trying to be right, we're not trying to be wrong. We're trying to be right as much as we can. We're trying to be wrong as little as possible. And upon being right, we're trying to gain as much as possible. But the most important thing we're doing, if we're wrong, we're trying to lose as little as possible, and that's it. Over a longer period of time, that will just correlate to results, right? That's it. So that is the total. So as you can see, everything's set. Even if it's for a dead cat bounce, I do not care. Everything's set for some moves up. So unless we get some sort of bearish engulfing candle right this week, and hopefully I did not jinx it, and I hope we don't, because that would be such a huge choke for crypto if we did. Unless we get that, right? The structure there is telling us we should be like trending higher, right? So let's see. Damn, we got a packed house today. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Concludes, bro. Eugene, welcome in. No, this is if you're, which one are you referring to? Oh wait, no, that's the Gale. Sorry, I thought you were talking about mine. Hey brother, how you been? You been good? If we're talking about to add on to earlier, if we're talking about like female traders, Gail, we know Gail's a beast. I've already told you guys Ronnie's a beast. We got another one here gig. She's absolutely amazing. She likes to keep things very, very private, but she is batshit insane when it comes to trading. Let me mute her. There we go. But yeah, we got a lot of strong female traders in this group. You love to see it because most of the time it's a sausage fest, right? In in the trading world. So it's nice to have the variety. Yeah, bro, fully. It's one of the reasons why I've not been to like a IRL convention yet. Yeah. But yeah, I got some whales in here. Ronnie, gig. Right, okay, so that's we're gonna go on Bitcoin, ETH. You guys already have access to Sol. That's total. So two more cryptos I wanted to look at real quick today is So Uniswap, something we've been looking at for a long time, right? Uniswap is literally, it's in the chart dump section. We looked at that, but actually let me just do this. I created a one just for you guys. Let's go here. We're going to spacebar. Firstly, Pendle, because I know someone asked me about Pendle. I think it was my bro Mohammed. He asked for Pendle. I gave the setup on one of these. One sec. Which one did I get the setup on? It's the problem. Yeah, there we go. Right. So Pendle, anyone that entered obviously should be in the green. I gave this as the final target is obviously a swing. What we were saying was just play it level by level, right? We need to get above 2021 high first is what we said. As you can see, it's not a surprise. We're stalling at 2021 high. So if you took this as a scalp to swing, you should definitely have taken some profits and gone stop loss to break even. Okay. But if you ended this just as a swing, like if you're very, very risk adverse, put your stop loss to break even. Otherwise, just leave it because we barely had a move, right? We might chop around some more and then go up. So who knows? It's up to you how you manage your risk, right? Just a couple ideas. But if you get above 2021 high on Pendle, that's when the next move comes. That'll be towards 290. That's what we need to get above to get those monster size moves, right? Just look to the left. That's what we need to get above to get the monster size moves. So Pendle's good. Mon. This is Monad, right? This thing's been going down. It's been going down. So let's take a look next at where it currently is, because I was looking at it. Because I'm already in a Mon trade. Put it on the P&L section. And this right here, right? The reason I'm eyeing this now is because on the daily, this is already shifted trend, right? The last lower high to lower low. Higher low has been put in. On the daily, it's in an uptrend. But on something like the weekly, as you can see, that's the last significant wick, right? That's been taken out. So the next pullback, if it's, as long as it doesn't absolutely crash and die, the next meaningful pullback to lower time frame bullish structure is going to be your next entry on Monad, right? These are the kind of things you want to see at the lows, right? And even if this particular wave structure isn't the one that gives you the low, like if this comes and you get like a bigger M shape coming in to like a, maybe a Gartley or something, right? So for example, let me just paint a picture for you guys. I always like bottoms with the accompanying M shape. So if this goes to like a 382, right? And then, you have a move back up, even a shark maybe or whatever, right? And then you come up to like a 786, 886 kind of area, and then you put some sort of high low in. That's the kind of structure you're wanting to develop at the lows for you to chuck a big spot bag in. Okay. So structure wise, all we have right now is to go off trend, right? Monad isn't obviously, we don't have like a shit ton of data to work with on Monad, unless you guys know of a chart that has a shit ton of data. But I mean, what we do have now is the fact that trend has shifted, right? Is around that area, like I mentioned, the butterfly. This is why I was hands off on Monad, right? I didn't have the airdrop. That's why I was also saying, look, I'm not going to do shit on Monad until we at least get that wave structure completion. Where did we get the completion? Right here. That's the butterfly 1.272, the 1.414. What did we get? Around the PRZ. Again, it shouldn't be a surprise to you guys in the server. We did indeed get, there's no there to there. There's a smiley face, a cumulative structure coming in, right? And with the trend, so if this comes down and if this happens, right, around this area, that'd be a very nice bid on Monad in my opinion. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Just wanted to point you. The reason I would enter here, very obvious resistance and also a local 0.5 to 2.0, right? So there's no area to enter here. If anything, you'll be looking for scalp to swing shorts here. As you can see, load of failed swings to the upside, right? You just have the clearest footprint for a look at how many scalp opportunities you had on Monad around that key level, right? You have the 2.0, you have the external high, so many scalp opportunities to the short side, right? So there's the lower time frame range. If the lower time frame range breaks down, I'd imagine you go take all these out and then some sort of higher low comes in. So that's what I'll watch for. If not, you just look for a lower time frame long, right? Lower time frame scalp to swing long around that range low, right? But Monad, in my opinion, looks very, very interesting. So just keep an eye on it. Because the reason I like this as well is because obviously like this really straight into bear market conditions again, right? This hasn't experienced the bull run. These are look what Say did, look what Sui did. Go back to last cycle, look what anything did. Like that's why I'm interested in this, right? So Monad's one for you guys. This is the lighter airdrop. I didn't get the airdrop, which is why I'm watching this because if I get a chance to buy this at a nice price, I will. Otherwise, I don't care, right? It can run off for all I care. I don't really care. SPX. Now, I shared this with you guys a few days ago now, right? We talked about this. SPX, originally, we had the shark, right? The shark back at yearly levels. Here's the 2025 yearlies. Straight up, look what we have now. Insane wave structure completion. Right? Insane. Absolutely nuts. We have the biggest bar I've ever seen in my life. There you go. 424, 2.618, 886 pretty much, right? Double bottom at the 2.618, 886 area. Above the 2025 yearly level, right? So you have this very clear range here. This looks like range mid. So what we can easily do is just say, okay, here's a high, Here's a low. If you come back to that range mid, you can look for scalp to swings to the upside. If you lose that range mid, just wait until you get back down towards that low again to bid, right? But SPX looks insane in terms of like structure, in terms of the wave structure completion, right? That's why I shared this in crypto chat a few days ago, as soon as I saw it. And left, middle, right. Big smiley face if this does hold in this particular area, right? So SPX, if you're looking at a particular meme, SPX looks insane. SPX looks crazy good. Did someone else just join? Ah yes, Wizard, welcome in, bro. I can look a safe for you, bro. I can look a safe for you. Okay, so that's SPX. Aero, obviously this is one of the ones we absolutely killed in 2025, right? We had an insane run in this. I gave you guys this double completion structure. We had a 414% move. In fact, for those of you that are new to the server, if you look at the old section, that's like the last of the old plays I gave, right? OP, that one did not work out, right? LDO gave us nice profits before it turned. LDO gave us about 45% before it moved back down, but ENA like more than a 2x, right? Magic gave us a really nice move. Tia just didn't hold, so we had literally no entries on Tia, not good ones. Cetus, right? Cetus gave a nice move before it ultimately fell back down from T1, right? AKT gave us a nice move before that moved down. Tara gave us a nice move before that moved down. Fed gave us a nice move before that moved down. Aero gave us an insane move before that moved down, right? So if I open up the thread to Aero, so that's what we're talking about right now. You probably can't see my screen right now, but you see in the recording, I can just forward it. That was the last entry on Aero, so general. That one, right? That's from that was the insane swing that we got off, right? So that was 40 cents average. Again, why? Price action correlation. Look where we were in Aero, right? 2 wave structures completing. I was not going to let that slip past you guys. It was so easy to manage risk here. So easy. And guess what we did? We're back at the exact same area. With what? With a wave structure, look. 618. 1.618. 8. We have a deep Garley completing at the exact same area. And once again, what do we have? The ever so elusive smiley face, right? So, Aero, what do we want at this particular point? If we get it, right? If we get it, you want a pullback. You want to pull back towards this sort of zone here and for it to hold, right? Very simple. There. You've just about tapped the top. If you get one more sort of rate to reclaim with this general area, that's the kind of structure you're looking for, right? But Aero looks good. It looks very, very good. If you don't want to enter where we currently are, you don't have to, right? What I would do is I'd put this down. This is now on a lower time frame basis too, since we've already moved off that low. If you flip this into support, just take scalps to swings off that area. Because above this, you can see you sort of enter into this range right over here. That's the range you enter into, right? So you manage to get into this, sort of like this. Then you're looking to get above this area, this high. And if you get above that, then you just swing that all the way higher, right? Since we're not at the lows. Otherwise, you know, as long as we're below this, don't enter until we either flip down to support or we, you know, put structure in a bit lower again. Right, but Aero is another one. Looks good. And I've only got some cryptos here because I don't want to spam you guys with like a million different coins in one stream, right? So, you know, we can do another stream when I'm in Nepal and I have some free time. We can do another stream where we can look at more cryptos. But these are ones I just, you know, I was space barring. I looked to look off, so I just made a quick list for you guys. Right, that's it. But Aero, we've had an insane run with this before, right? We made some good money on this one. So let's see if we can do it again. It just doesn't get more risk free than that, right? Now, this is the next one I'm looking at, Leica. It's got a completed M shape, right? Listen, the chart is trash. Before you point fingers, I know I don't typically give you guys coins like this, okay? The chart is abysmal. It is terrible. Don't let anyone convince you this chart looks bullish. It doesn't, right? What I did like, especially when I charted this originally, what I did like was the fact, because I was charting it literally at that D point, right? What I did like was the fact that, okay, you have a 2025, like I said, you have a yearly close. So as long as you're above that yearly close, we're just going to take the bid, right? If we revisit this yearly lows once more, what I would want to see is a fill of this demand zone. I would not want to see a new low. I'd want to fill of this demand zone, maybe something like this, right? But literally, you could put 100 pounds, or something small, right? If it doesn't mean much to you, put 1,000, right? I'll probably put like between 5 or 10k into this. Like if it goes to zero, it goes to zero. But if not, and Doge season comes around, and Leica, wait, hang on, let me think about this. Was Leica the Doge? It was, wasn't it? Was it Leica or was it Doge Chain? It was Leica was a Doge. Was this a Doge? I'm getting confused now. Was Leica the Doge sort of like layer 2 kind of? Was this the one I gave you guys originally as the Doge layer 2? That's the one. Yes, it is this one, isn't it? So if Doge does go, because Doge I think looks good, right? Doge look good on the macro. I think because you risk like whatever's comfy for you, right? So for me, it's anywhere between 5 to 10k. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero. Like at these points, it's probably not going to go to zero because yeah, I'm going to lose a large chunk of it, but I'd be happy, right? I don't care if I lost like 7k, 8k, because the thing is, if from here, right, we go to next structure, it's 435. And if it decides to go for the next actual yearly level, it's 800, right? And if it decides then, like, or we're going to flip it into support, like we're going to take out the last significant, like, wick, then it's like a 1,700% move. Now, I'm not trying to be a moon boy and tell you guys it's going to go here for sure, but even just $100 into this in spot, and you forget about it, can turn to 1,800, for example, if we do get, like, proper Doge season and this somehow catches traction. Right, so this is like a proper like degen bet, but you do not a little like $50, right, to 600, right? So you don't have to put much in, and you can make like a decent amount. That's the point I'm trying to make it, which is why I'm putting this in your guys' radar. Okay, listen, if you do want to skip this, feel free. You do not need this in your port, but if you have a degen port and you want to do a bit of gambling, right? Maybe it hits. Then this is one with some opportunity, in my opinion. Because we're just waiting for Doge to go. If Doge goes, I think this will follow, right? And if it doesn't, like I said, just put in $30. I don't care, right? Just put in something that you're not gonna bat and lose any. You're gonna forget about it. You're gonna forget about it until you get just set an alert up for like 52 cents, and you're gonna forget you even put money in this until the alert hits. Oh shit! I put like $50 in it, 100, and you go and check, and all of a sudden that's turned into like respectable 500, 600, right? Just whatever, but this is like a proper low risk, high reward opportunity in terms of around significant levels. Obviously, it's high risk in the sense that this is not a serious investment whatsoever, but I just see opportunity. That's all, right? Dogecoin layer 2 solution. That's the one. Leica Doge. Yeah. Yeah, I think the Dogecoin layer 2, that's the one I'm referring to. If this is the wrong chart, then my bad, guys, okay? This might be the wrong chart in that case. But Leica L2, maybe that's what it's called. But that's the one. It's the right chart, right? Okay, yeah, in that case, yeah, this is the one I'd go for. My thesis is simple. If Doge runs, then why not bet on something like, put your size into Doge if you're gonna, because at this point I don't even see Doge as a meme, right? It's got such a big market cap, I don't even see it as a meme. But this is definitely like in the shitter sort of like shitcoin, right? So just a little bit can go a long way, in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so what do we have next? Dash. Why was I looking at this? Because I think we came back to a yearly level. I mean, yeah, we did. Let me just put it down. That's the yearly I was referring to. But the reason I don't like Dash in this area is because the way I see it, you can take this as a range, right here. And you just below range mid in that case. Then you can take this as a range. This is one of those coins with just too much data where it just gets insanely, like if you're just going to buy spot and hold, it's easy, right? But I know many people here like to actually leverage trade as well. For leverage trading, it gets difficult. So in that regard, right, the only thing I can tell you guys for Dash is, as long as you're above this 40 to 31, I'll be looking towards 56. But above 56, this thing has legs. We've seen it. We've seen what it did in 2025, literally, right? So this is one of those dino coins that still has potential, in my opinion. At the end of the day, it's still holding. It's holding, right? It's not like it's made a fresh low or anything like that. So yeah, let's see. Just this 40 to 31. Just that buyer zone, seller zone. That's what I put down. But it's easy to see this way, actually, like this, right? So above this, basically what you can tell is, if I go to the 2 weeks and zoom in, above this level, which we're currently at, if you take that as range lows, You have some, you'd be scalp to swing mindset up until 56. Definitely take some profits there. But if you get above that, that's where the fireworks really begin for Dash, all the way up like towards this. Because you can see that's what happened before, every single time, right? If you manage to get above 56, 9 times out of 10, you're going to blast up towards like 127 basically. If you get above that, you're going to get to 998. So the opportunity is there in this coin, right? That's why I put in the chart for a nice little 272% gain maybe, right? So that's Dash. I'm not going to spend too much time on that one because XMR. I'm so vindicated on this particular coin, and the reason for that is because XMR is something like if you're in any server, right? Unity, AR, any server you're in, right? I've been talking about this one for a long time because I've been talking about this since this right here, right? 2020 came and then this happened. The reason I've been talking about this is, again, like I said, this is not how you're meant to use harmonics. Okay, if you're doing it the pure Scott Carney way, pure harmonic traders are going to be, spitting at me if they see this, right? Like how the Jews spit on the Christians. But this right here, if we're talking about it in terms of wave structure, okay, if I turn this ABCD off, X, A, B, C, D, right? You have the 618. And again, I know this is into the wick low, but I don't care, right? It's what am I using this for? I'm showing you guys where the 618 is, and then I'm showing you the price action correlation around the 618. As you can see, the 618 was used as support, and then as resistance. Support, resistance, support many times, right? So there's a 618. Then you have the 44 and the retracement. Then to that point there, you have a 786 and a 1.618. So even though this isn't a proper wave structure in the sense that it's not from this low, right? If you were to view this as a sort of macro wave structure, in my eyes, you have completed a macro Gartley. That's the one thing I kept saying, right, since this has been completed. And not only that, what have we done since then? Sideways to reconfirmation of that low. 786, 1.618, right? And then not only after that, what did you do? The entire range, the consolidation range, you're flipping in support. At this point in 2024, early 2025, I was telling people, look, this looks like Link at this stage. Because this is what Link did. Link had a 2-year-long consolidation until it flipped into support and it ran, right? This, I've shared this for the longest time, right? And then after that, well, we can't be surprised anymore. It's sort of just gone on a run. But people can't say this happened out of nowhere. People can't say this happened out of nowhere. This is absolutely beautiful. This is, this is art. In my eyes, this is actual art, right? This should be up, in the Loire next to the Mona Lisa, bro. Just next to the Mona Lisa, under high security lasers and shit, with 24/7 security guards and like pressure sensors on the floor and stuff. Like this needs to be hung up on the Mona Lisa because this is beautiful. Look at the context. Look at the wave structure. The price action. This is perfect, right? This is chart porn. And now there's no entry here. You're pretty much at all-time highs, right? This is one of my spot bags. I was in a leverage trade for this as well from here, but when the 10-10 wick happened, obviously, like I said, my leverage trades all got closed because of the wick down. So that leverage trade unfortunately isn't open anymore. The leverage trade from down over here, because this is on a Poloniex chart, right? So the leverage trade isn't open, but I still have my spot on this one. And $779 is going to come if you get above the all-time highs here. $779 will come at some time. It will. It's just what it is. Yeah. So if you're looking for an entry on this, just wait for that flip, or wait for the next pullback, something. But privacy coins, it's there. Not only that, of course, you have the clear, just low, high, high, low, high, 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 low, right? It's not made a fresh low at all. So XMR, beautiful. No, I've not looked at LTC, bro, not yet. Speaking of Unity, by the way, I don't know, because I was checking back on the server the other time, and I don't actually have access to any of the channels anymore. So I think my roles have been booted. But I did tell everyone I was going to be on vacation till January, so I don't know what that's about, but it's what it is. Let's take a look. 1 second. Is anyone on the support team here for? No, no one is. I think Tip was, but I don't think he is anymore. But yeah. Let's take a look. Next we have DMT. Again, the reason I'm putting this on your guys' radar isn't because I think this is a serious investment, but the same. Look what it is. Look how easy the risk management is. It's like if you get below, like sort of this area, just cut. You can just slowly start adding some DMT into spot. You don't have to one bag it, right? Add some here, and if you get to this zone, add a bit more. So just add over time, right? And if you start losing 2.116, just cut. Very simple, just cut. Otherwise, we're talking about the range you have to manage on spot to slowly add over time is around 46%, right? Which is why I'm saying don't go all in at once. It's still a sizable, like you're gonna lose half your value if it goes to like 2.116 again. But even just to this high is a 291% move, and if you decide at any point that you want to go and take out some fair value gaps or something, for example, it's a 632% move up. So again, the opportunity is there on DMT. Some of these coins are in the absolute gutter, right? So risk management wise, it's easy. Position sizing wise, it's easy. So that's the reason I'm mentioning these. Links are, let's see, just back at key areas really. Yeah, this is one. Just get above 382 for this original Gartley, right? This is what I mean. Look, consolidation range, same as thingy, right? Same as XMR. Consolidation range, flip into support, insane move up, right? But if you get above the 382, you literally just scalp to swing this to 15, and then your cluster here, next level, like Link's easy. Link is super easy. We've already dipped back into the consolidation range again, actually. Again, 10-10. Now here. Very easy on Link. You lose the yellow line, basically just cut, right? It's simple as that. Otherwise, just wait for that 382 flip for entries. Lower time frame to higher time frame, like scalp to swing. XPL, again, another one that hasn't experienced the bull market condition. Came out when the market was pretty much like turning around for the... actually, no, it came out... Yeah, no, it did. So, it's beginning to round, right? It's beginning to round. Has the trend shifted? I mean, on the lower time frame, sure. On the weekly, definitely not. What about something like the 4 hours, right? Let's take a look. Yeah, on something like the 4 hours it has. Like the last lower high that led to the lower low has been taken out right there, right? Taken out. High low put in. So put your 2025 levels in, right? Well, actually, they already are here. So any entries around the 2025 level, if you get it, it's going to be a solid like scalp the swing opportunity, in my opinion. Otherwise, if you're not going to go down there, something like this region here, right? As long as you're sort of holding this region as supported, building above, I'd say it's probably worth starting to bid a bit of this in spot. Because again, look, it's just all these experiences a sell-off, right? And if you can manage your risk, you might just catch that next like wave up to the upside. Again, this also hasn't experienced like a bull market condition yet. So coins like these are very fascinating because you don't know how well they can do in a bull market condition. They might just pop off out of nowhere, right? So if all something's experienced is a bear market condition, and you see opportunity to buy, get some. That's my advice. And the same thing, if something releases in a bull market condition, do not bag hold it because you do not know how the asset is going to perform in a bear market condition. Case in point, one of my darlings of last cycle. You can't even chart it anymore. Who remembers Curedo? Look, you can't even. This has been delisted. This thing came out, right? It pumped to $3. It came out bull market, peak bull market, right? Last time, and around 2021. Dropped down to about $1 something, I want to say, or like 80 cents. My average was around 84 cents, right? For Curedo, I put like 10k in there. This thing ran all the way up to like $13, if I'm not mistaken, right? 13, but it's been delisted like a year ago because it went down to like 20 cents in the bear market. So when something comes out in the bull market, do not bag hold it. Make your money, get out, right? Same thing, if something comes out in a bear market, don't just shit on it because you do not know how well that coin's going to do once liquidity actually flows back in. Okay? Which is like coins like XPL. And the other one was it just XPL? Yeah, no, it was just XPL. Which is why that's interesting. But yeah, XPL, I like the look of it.
Hey,
And
weatherman.
and Mon.
Hey,
Yo, what's up, bro? Shoot.
Hey man, hope all's well. Do you mind if I say something real quick about last cycle and coins popping up before things started popping off? I just wanted to, like, I got caught up in it and it really fucked me up. But right before everything started popping off, I was in the coins that were pumping,
Hmm.
and my money was stuck in those coins as things started rocketing.
Yeah.
Then those coins never. So they market makers will bait you into buying their shit by pumping it, and then and then maybe at the very end of the bull run, they will pump those coins again for exit liquidity.
Yeah.
Just like the final thing. So they will bait you right before a bull run. So just be like with USDT dominance rejecting, and, Bitcoin dominance being bearish as well. So also with the totals that you were just going over, we're definitely set up for a nice little coin run.
Yeah,
And
for
with
sure, bro.
stuff like this popping off, just be careful what you're buying. Make sure it has utility. Don't buy hype.
Yeah, yeah, that's it exactly. Just when you buy, though, this is always should be like risk management. Basically, it's like you don't want to be wrong around a key level. If the structure's there, the chart's gonna tell you, right? Um, but otherwise, yeah, definitely don't buy into hype. Don't go around buying creator coins, bro. Like I've seen some exchange was trying to. I actually think it was MEXC. It was trying to bait me into buying Win. Apparently, James Win has his own creator token. Like, why would I buy that trash, right? But you're gonna get celebrities dropping coins again. You're gonna get, creator coins. That's gonna be a new cancer meta. I can see it already. Just don't buy any of these. There's gonna be 0 point. There is no creator on this planet that's gonna give you anything good from buying their creator coins. Just don't do it. You just focus on like just what works, right? Just focus on that. Focus on reading structure around key levels, managing your risk. You'll be fine. Now, two more cryptos I wanted to go over real quick today is right. So this one, right? If you're a Kang, and you wanted to stream yesterday, XPL. He was mentioning it. No, sorry, not XPL. KCS, right? I had one thing charted on it, so I went and updated my chart yesterday after watching Mitch's stream, and this looks insane. Yeah, this looks good. So what I have in KCS, my own view on this now is this. Okay, XABCD massive wave structure, basically a macro completed bat here, as you can see, right? And from the inception of that bat, so if I was to go ahead and turn the 12-month levels off once and the parallel channel, from the inception of that bat, have we hit? We definitely haven't hit TV2, but we've probably gone up to the mid. Yeah, we've hit the mid, right? So we're currently just at the front run of the golden pocket, right? So as long as you're above 10 to 11, right? I think you have a very easy area to manage your risk around for a bit to the upside, right? You have yearly buy seller zones as well. So if I was to turn this off and go to the yearlies, they're all from all the levels you saw are just literally just three seller zones back to back, and that one massive seller zone from the past, right? As you can see, those are there. So even if you're a lower time frame trader, you'll have levels to go to, right? So as long as you're above this, the next cluster you're aiming for is this. Above this cluster is this. Above that cluster is this. So if you're a scalper, this is dream for you because you have very well defined ranges. Look, this range currently we're looking at is this. That's the range. Because above this, there's not much, right? It's just that. If you get above that, that's the range. If you get above that, that's the range, so on and so forth. So lower time frame trading is going to be easy. Higher time frame trading here is also easy because I put down, this is the channel Mitch had put down, right? So this I completely agree with. I was also looking at it from this perspective here. 2 taps at the top, one, and then I just joined it to that one low, right? And that low is being corrective right now, right? Like, or rather, it's being vindicated right now, as we can see. That low is what we keep defending on the buyer side, right? So if I turn the 12 months off, once literally just this and this, there we go. We bounced off the low no matter how you look at it. The intersection for the lows have been met. So as long as we don't break this, right? Your invalidation is what? Well, if you start doing that, just cut. You don't need to hold it. But as long as you're above this, you now might have legs further upside on KCS. I don't know what KuCoin's going to do, right? But at the end of the day, they're a OG exchange. They might, end up doing some crazy partnerships or some shit. Who knows? They might pull something out of their ass. But KCS looks good. Okay. So I noticed this on Mitch Ray's stream yesterday, and yeah, this looks very, very good. I've put that wave structure in. So that blue line, which Mitch's TA, this blue parallel channel, the red, and the wave structure, that's mine. Okay. Now, Uni, Mitch did go over this in his stream yesterday, but obviously Uni something I already shared way in advance anyway. So this is everything you see is just going to be my own. You have the yearly levels, right? If you pull up the old Uni charts, we'll have so much wave structure at this particular area. It's crazy. This is a new chart. So in the older charts, right, we had so many M shapes on Uni basically. Not group one. Where is it? This is on coin. Oh wait, hang on. If I go and add Uni USD, we're looking at the crypto chart. That's where it's going to be. There should be way more. Why is it only this? There's so many wave structures here basically on Uni. Like we've talked about this so often, the wave structures on Uni. Let me see if I can just go ahead and put them out for you now actually. We got sharks. $1.618 right there. Right, we got sharks. There we go. Massive shark on Uni to begin with, right off the bat. And everything is happening around that shark level, right? We've hit T1 of the shark. We're back down there. The original shark level is still consolidating. We have M shapes inside here, okay? We have loads of M shapes inside here, guys. We've looked at this before. I just need to find which sort of canvas it's in. I've got loads. Just to save time, I won't. But if you scroll back in Weatherman chart dump, it'll be there, right? We've shared Uni charts, loads of them. But the most recent thing in Uni is, of course, just keep this in mind. In fact, I can just do this and then this, right? So we've got yearly levels. There's a 2025. There's the reds, right? The red is actually just a range that I put down, if I'm not mistaken, from that high to that low, right? You can see there's just a very tight range over here, so I just put it down as a range, right? This is just a bit of price action analysis, putting it down based on that. But again, we're above 2025 level. The range mid we're rejecting off right now, but as long as we're above that shark 886, right, and we're above, we hold 2025 levels of support. We do have a completed M shape on Uni, right? We have a very nice completed M shape on Uni, and that completed M shape has given us successful taps, right? One return, two return. The two returns are successful. So if you can hold this, right, the argument for upside on Uni is there. We've gone to the shark 886, right? The argument for upside is definitely there on Uni. So this is definitely another one I would be watching, guys. Okay, whether you want to trade a spot, whether you want to trade it on leverage, scalp it. This is another one that I think, if ETH catches that rotation and we get that ETH layer 2 trickling, LDO, Uni, these are the coins I think money will go into, right? So this is Uni. Now, that's some cryptos, right? Just some ones that look good, Spacebar, and of course there's going to be others that look good, right? There's going to be loads of other. In fact, while I'm here, I should explain something I've been talking about ever since a couple months ago. BCH. This is one of the ones I've got on spot. And if you guys go back to the stream a month or two ago now, you probably remember if you were here on the stream, we were basically talking about this, right? I was saying, okay, BCH on log has the nastiest meme line. There you go. Meme line. This was around the same time we did thingy. What's it called? Telcoin. Because Telcoin has something similar, right? Breakout retest, and then we got that insane 100-something% pump in a day on Telcoin off that log meme test. But Telcoin had an actual meme line in the form of a demand line, right? So Telcoin was just straight up something like this, right? Telcoin it had a line like that, it bounced off and it went. In fact, I can do that and I can show you what I mean. This was Tel, right? Telcoin came and then it bounced from this line right of it here. Hang on. There was this. Yeah, there you go. Right? That low was saying, I was saying, look guys, Telcoin looks good here, right? That same line that's given us so many times, moves in the past. We're back here. We've got the 118% move in a week, right? Maybe not in a day, but in a week. Couple days. Literally a couple days. We got that move. This was around the same time as when I first said BCH, saying, okay, I've got 2 log meme lines for you guys, and BCH was the other one. So if I go to BCH, right here. I've said the chart on Crypto Chat as well, but insane, right? Breakout, retest, smiley face is right here, as you can see. There's the smiley face, right? So now you get above this, you're targeting this high, but if you get above this cluster right over here, that's what this is there for. Your next target straight up just becomes this right here, 1,600 and something for BCH, right? Above you. Wait, hang on. You build above this. That on my days. One sec. Control Z this and then the brushes out. There. But the smiley face, basically you're waiting for this flip now, right? This flip, because that was the last given entry. But if that flip is not successful, then obviously you don't want to enter here. You're at resistance. But if that flip is successful, you're looking for moves up to take these out on BCH. It's posturing. There's not many crypto charts that look this good. I'm telling you, there isn't. And it's all quiet until it's not, right? Because everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, damn, BCH is pumping 50% this morning, or 2x." But that's useless commentary, right? This is all I can tell you now is this is what you're waiting for. If you want to enter, this is what you're waiting for, or you get a revisit back towards the lows again once more, maybe, and then you will accumulate if it goes there, right? Otherwise, BCH is on the one that does look good, very, very good. Bitcoin Cash, old but gold. My main spot bag is still BTC and ETH, bro. BTC and ETH. In terms of size, is always BTC and ETH in terms of like main spot bags. But I've got some BCH. I've got coins like IOTA, some alts, right? I just absolutely gutted out that I've shared before. Bought some IOTA. Bought some BCH, like I've said. I've not bought things like Dream Machine tokens, so on and so forth. I've not bought these yet, right? Because I don't want to just buy green candles. I'm waiting. I'm gonna get some SPX because this is insanely good. But obviously, I just want to see how this candle resolves first. The current weekly that we have, right? Let's see how this resolves. XMR I've got, like I've said, and then apart from that, hang on, let me go to the TIE account. Whatever is in my TIE account, really. Oh, the top, I bought a spot a while ago, so when I say a while, it's probably not that long for most people, but my short-term memory is absolutely dog shit. So, hang on. Oh, of course, ICP. How could I forget? ICP, right? I've got some ICP as well. But apart from that, it's stocks, bro. Stocks. I'm spread between stocks and crypto. But I know I have to say this a lot, guys. Listen to me. You do not need to be in a million different coins. Just choose a few you like. I've gone over a few today. There might be others you don't, right? So since I don't want to take up like a shit ton of time, just ton of your guys' time today, I'm not going to go over every single crypto. But like I said, if there's a particular coin you're interested in, let me look at it for you, right? Just tag me when I see it. I'll do it for you in my free time. And I can tell you, like, where the key levels are, what you're looking for entries, exits, so on and so forth, right? Where's Big Hub gone? Yeah, ICP. That's the other one. Let me think. Is there anything? ENA. Oh yeah, ENA. I did mention ENA as well. I've got some ENA. But yeah, not much, right? Just a few that I know I can manage risk around. Easy to manage risk around. That way, I don't have a headache. I don't use Polymarket. No, bro. I've never actually done a bet on Polymarket. There is a deep crab on SPX 6900. Let's take a look. For a deep crab, you need an 886. So if I was to just create a group here once. Let's take a look if there's a deep crab. Now, where would the deep crab be? That's not an 886 though. I mean, there might be a normal crab maybe, but that doesn't look like a 1.618. So there's no normal crab. So unless we are talking... Where'd you have the deep crab from, bro? I can't seem to find it.
I just dropped my chart.
Okay, let me take a look. Oh, okay. You mean in progress? Okay, yeah, I got you. I thought you meant there was one completed. I was like, oh, what have I missed?
Apologies.
Okay, yeah.
I was kind of listening, trying to get that chart dropped.
Yeah. Yeah, so that would be a wave structure that has to complete. It's not complete yet, but if it does hit, that'd be death for this chart, really. 0.07. I don't know if you'd ever come back from that. Looking at this chart, it might,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I think like what you're talking about right now with the weekly candle, like really at that point from what I see, like if it doesn't accept here, then like complete that deep crab.
yeah. 1.618
I have a large
would be.
bag, so I'll be ready to dump it if we don't push up here.
I mean, it makes sense in terms of a liquidity rate. That's your main pivot rate, 25 cents. I mean, it's a meme coin. Once things slip, it can slip quite fast. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep an eye on it, but it's not completed yet, so we've not got anything actionable yet on this particular one. Right, let me do that. Okay, is that for SPX? Yes, use the diagonals. That looks good. Beautiful. There we go. We got the bat type 2. Yeah, SPX is positioned quite well in my opinion. Maybe move up to a lower high and then death. But even like I said, even in dead cats, you can get a lot. You can get a lot of. Well, I mean, why don't we take a look at? Okay, I know it's a meme coin, but why don't we take a look at what kind of action we've been getting? Right. So that bottom is RSI for me. Let's look at the weekly. Okay, so I'm simply interested in the double bottom structure. Okay. And let's change that to 30 because that's way too much resolution. There we go. Okay, perfect. So we have, we could keep it really simple. We just have a shit ton of buying. That's what we have. BT, look at that in a minute. Yeah, we just have a shit ton of buying, don't we? That's it. Yeah, I mean, aggressive buying is being rewarded. That's what there is to it. Even in this candle, aggressive buying. Okay, this right here. Let's keep it simple. On a weekly basis, there is your preferred entry zone. 59 to 55 cents. If you get that on SPX and it holds, just take a bid. Because if it doesn't hold, then the reason I don't want to give you guys this whole range is because it just becomes a hard to manage risk, right? Like if this you're talking about like a 19% range for leverage, that's useless. For spot, it's okay. You have a lot of point of control clusters in this area, as you can see, right? But that there is actionable between 58 to 55 cents. If the high low comes in, that might be the one. Okay, that will be it for crypto today, guys. Okay, if you have any more requests, I know there was a few, say LTC, so on and so forth, because I want to go over some stocks as well. I will put that drop those into chart requests for me, guys, and then I will get back to you on those. Okay, let's bang out some stocks as well real quick. So stocks, begin with RCAT. Looks insane, looks beautiful. I know I wasn't really interested in this one before, but that's because there was no structure. Now there is structure, right? Look at this beauty of a stock. Right, you have a completed M shape in an uptrend, in a very, very classic uptrend, right? Low, high, high, low, high, 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 low, 886, right? The 886 is now giving you insane reaction off that low, right? So this right here, there's a gap. You reconfirm the gap as support, fill the gap. What I would want here is a proper type to return. If we get one more drop to like some sort of 3 value situation like this, that'd be a very, very good buy on RCAT in my opinion. If not, you start flipping here, well, you can see very easily why that would be very important as well. If you start flipping $9.49 to $10 into support, that'd be your next bid on this one. Okay, you could potentially look at 23 on this one. It's technology; these things will go up over time, right? It's just one of those things. So RCAT, finally, we have something actionable because before we didn't really have much, but now we do. Right? So at this particular stage, you're either waiting for that flip into support or you're waiting for that pullback back towards another basically like 3 rising valleys kind of scenario, right? Like one more here and then you take it from over there. RCAT. ClearSpark, the reason I've talked about this so long with you guys, 0.5995 was always the line in the sand, right? That's the same level we keep bouncing off of, support, resistance, as you can see. You're just there, right? As long as you're there, you can't be surprised with a 4-on-4 visit. Something like this. This is literally, you could view this as a range play. 86 is going to be somewhere around there. So that is ClearSpark, right? Smiley face as well, of course, right? Right here, as you can see. Well, bam. Tesla, obviously, you guys know why I'd be talking about Tesla. 2026, I think, is going to be a big year for Tesla. So any pullbacks on this where you see it going to an actionable level is a bid. I haven't like updated this chart in a little while because obviously I'm already in this. I haven't had the need to, but you know, you can draw your weekly seller zones here, for example, go onto the monthly, go onto the 6 months, the yearly, get your fresh yearly levels down, so on and so forth. There's your fresh yearly. So if I was to just put down a random area like this, $20.25, right? Is that the high? Yeah. Tesla, you wait for a $449 reclaim if you want additions on this, because you know this is what you're looking for if you want to go higher. If you keep losing this, then perhaps you get a smiley face around here somewhere, and that smiley face would be a beautiful bid. But Tesla, do not sleep on this. Even it might seem expensive now, but it's one of those ones where it's like I just feel like this still got so much growth potential. Targets here for Tesla. Last given entry was again like $200 something, right? Tesla. Next, NNE. This is nano nuclear energy. Okay. Last time we talked about this, we were saying, look, you know, as long as the red line is holding, you're fine. But when we were looking at this last, we were basically saying, look for a reclaim. We've now got that reclaim. We hit the actual next extension of the parallel channel, the 0.25. So at this particular stage, it's simple. What you want to see is that reclaim. If you get that reclaim, you look for to play this within the range itself. Just a few stocks. Again, this is not everything, guys. There's many that look good. Just a few that I like the look of, right? Now, this one I mentioned in the last big stock stream I did. This is NuScale Power Corporation. That is a completed shark within an uptrend within your demand line, right? That was an insane bid. I gave you guys that exact low on this one, right? The 886, the 1.618, right? Holding. Move gapped up. So if you get that gap fill, right, over the coming weeks or whatever, coming days, check back to $15 or so, and so this would be a very, very beautiful addition in my opinion. Look at this chart and tell me you do not want a piece of it. That is what you want to see. Look, previous resistance flipping to support. The context could not be better. It's insane context. This looks beautiful. Okay, so SMR, do not sleep on this one. Look, it's still at risk managed areas. You can manage risk still on this. It's a long-term hold. Risk management is so easy. Invalidation is so easy. You lose trend, you lose the wave structure 1.618, just cut. Don't need to be holding it, right? But SMR looks good. ALAB, this one is the, I keep thinking like, I keep trying to say ARAB instead of like ALAB. But this one's the one that Sol recommended to us, right? The falling wedge breakout, yeah, just looks ready to go. I'm not in this myself, okay, guys, because like I said, I don't want to be spread too thin. I've already got my stock picks. I'm in those. I'm not going to size up on those. But this was a beautiful retest in November. Beautiful resistance turned to support. This is beautiful, yeah. But what I'm hoping for is, listen, I might sound like a doomer here, and I'm not praying for anyone's downfall, but a deep godly. I don't care if you get 886. I don't give two shits where you go. That deep godly, when we eventually, if you get it, look at that. That would be an insane generational bid on this asset, and I really, really hope we get it. I don't care if it's in 2026. I don't care if it's in 2028. Whenever we get it, just understand I will be bidding this because you can already see the kind of trend you will be expecting at that particular area. We are early to this trade. If you look at it in that regard, we are early to this trade. So, you know, this might be the high low that just sends this, and this wave structure gets completely invalidated, and you know, I've missed the generation run to like 1,000 or something. Who knows, right? But hopefully what it is we get a lower high, we get some sort of drop, and crypto rallies while this is dropping, and then after that maybe like, you know, we get some sort of generation 786 to an 886 bid. That'd be insane on ALAB. Lift, I've already explained why this looks good. Just look, it's still manageable. Just understand, it's a matter of time. Even if it drops all the way back down to 10, it's a matter of time, right? This will eventually break out. So if it's not now, at some point in the future, this will go. I've got to start a position on Lift that I do not care about, right? And eventually, just look, resolution of this is, as long as you're especially above that breakout, it's going to be to the upside. Chances are you probably do get some sort of chop before we go up. I doubt they're going to make it that easy. But I'm saying that because I'm used to the absolute horrific toxic treatment crypto gives us, right? It's like going from the most toxic relationship of your life to like the most nice one. You doubt everything. But it could just be as simple as resistance is turning to support. Right? Literally, it could just be that simple, and it goes. But let's see. But Lift looks insane. Take a look. Nothing but alpha for you guys. Nike. Boom. I know I've already shared this, but please, please do not sleep on this. Look at the structure. 88. This is a deep crab that has completed. Okay. 886. Well, no, I don't know. It's not exactly 886, but that is within the allowed parameters. 1.618, pretty much, right? That's also that is a completed deep crab, and the deep crab has taken out liquidity. Liquidity has been taken out, right? And this is a proper, like, Nike is like an established company, right? I don't expect it to drop all the way down towards like $2 or something anyway, right? So, and then look at the structure. What's happening now is we have that pullback to a high low, right? And in fact, I bet I bet you anything, there's M shape here. If there is, the context gets even prettier. Oh, that's a nasty, something like this. There you go. There you go. It's not an 886, but just go to the daily. 86 would have been so nice. So if that's not an 886 yet, how about this? How about this? If this rejects from this box, okay, I'm looking at it in two different ways, okay? If this rejects from this box that we're currently at, and it turns to resistance because we have a big gap there, we're looking at one more drop, and I would want that one drop to give us the 886, right? Give us the 886, give us some sort of structure, put some, even if you rate it to reclaim, give us bullish divergence, whatever, right? Otherwise, we go and start flipping this box back into support. That'd be the entry for Nike to go higher. But just understand, Nike is looking very, very good, and I know big players are buying this in the shadows. So do not underestimate how quickly, if this breaks out and you get above that box, this could be trading back towards, like, 120s, 130s, right? So Nike, keep an eye on it. It's the next alpha. Asan, again, another one I shared with you guys because not because of how the chart looks, but rather because of where we are. Look at it. Tell me it's difficult to manage your risk here. Tell me you're going to enter here and you're not going to get sleep. Tell me you're going to enter here, you're going to be checking your phone every single hour. You're not. Put it in a mind you're comfortable with. Forget about it. Just forget about it. I mean, if you wanted to keep it really, really tight, you lose 2 out of the 75. Cut it and just have a bid for 11. Or enter some here, have a limit set for somewhere around 11, and then again, just forget about it. But just look at the chart. Been going sideways since 2022. This lows has been defended all this time. Right? We have a completed M shape, so just a little bit can go a long way in stocks like this. I was going to say coin because it looks like a crypto chart, but it's not. Right? This is stock, Asan. So just keep an eye on it. Okay. AVBP. I like this one because again, that's a massive M shape, deep godly. Right? You're going sideways within the box right now, so I can also go ahead and do this. There is your box, so to speak. From the high to the low, right? So you're around the mid for now, so you can easily manage your risk around that sort of 0.5 area, 20 to 19, right? This box. If you lose that, you can either cut it until you hit the 16s, or you can have an entry here. If you're like, if you're thinking long term, have an entry here, have another entry here, so on and so forth, right? But again, Asan, look, that's a completed M shape. We're within the range for now. You're broken out. You cannot be surprised if this resolves violently to the upside. I don't know if this is like a new chart. I don't know if this is like a new company basically, right? That just came out because data doesn't go back, or if they just went public recently or what. But yeah, I never ever doubt this, and you know why. There's a certain group of people that's never gonna let this fail. It's a big business. It's not about treating people, right? It's not about making people healthy. It's about making them just well enough where they get sick again in a bit and they keep coming back for more. And that, that is terrible and it's so unethical, but it makes money. It's what it is, right? So if this falls under this, then our wall kissing friends aren't gonna let this die, basically. So yeah, look, that's a resistance flip to support here, right? Locally speaking, easy to manage risk. Let me look at this in fact in terms of, is there any way we can, let's take a look. What's this candle saying? This candle is saying massive aggressive selling, but look at the close, right? Close of a value area. So hey, here you go. If you can maintain this value area right here as support, as long as you're above this, just bid. If you lose that value area, then you're dropping down towards 19 probably. Right, but this you can manage this on the lower time frame, you can manage this on the higher time frame. It's completely up to you. But just if this goes right and I'm sharing PNLs of this, and someone's like, "Oh, what did you call this?" I don't want anyone saying, "Oh, I didn't know you'd call this one," because we've gone over this multiple streams now. Okay, this is Asan. Easy to manage risk, and if this is lost on a higher time, it doesn't care. Like you go back to the deep godly, you just go into the bottom of the range. Like you go and do this, even though short term's going to be like you hit stop loss once maybe, but then the bid you get down over here is going to be even bigger and even better, right? So no matter how it is, it's a long term, it's a win. Like so, yeah, this definitely keep it on your radar. Even if you're not buying it, just watch it. Watch how it develops. Now, IREN, from that box we talked about, right? When I share this in crypto chat, look, that's a breakout. IREN looks good, right? I'm in this again because if you take a look at what the weekly was saying, it was absolutely insane. The amount of massive aggressive selling, same with Nebius, right? This and Nebius, the amount of aggressive selling that was going on with that sellers clearly being absorbed was crazy. That fair value area that I was talking about got retested right here, right? There's a retest, and then now we're just going up. So I'm in this IREN, right? Because obviously I mentioned in the stream that this looks good. I'm getting in. IREN and Nebius, I'm in both. Yeah, so now this is broken out. Just send it up. If the trend continues from here, you won't be surprised, basically. But that, again, look, same reason why we got into ETH back in April, right? Weekly seller absorption. Insane. Okay, let's go to EMB next. EMB, Enbridge. The reason I have this marked here for you guys is because if you take a look, what we are doing, we are posturing at all-time highs. This thing's about to melt faces, in my opinion. You're bull flagging, whatever you want to call it. Look, you're above 2015 highs, right? 66.14. That's it. Just it's so hard for me to recommend buying, right? But even if it's like a leverage trade or a CFT type of trade, right? Maybe you enter slowly around here, right? Don't enter with everything you have, and then you do a final size up if you ever go and flip this into support, because you have nothing above you from that point on again. Nothing. You have this. Alright, so Enbridge on the verge potentially of on the verge of the next sort of local wave structure that gives you a breakout. If not, you're going to catch the biggest short of your life somewhere in this area. So either way, worth paying attention to, right? I highlight these to you guys. You know how to find the key levels to these, and then that way, I hope that each and every one of you get to the point where you can look at these and you can catch the trades for yourself, right? That's the goal with here. And many people have got to that stage where I don't have to give signals. I don't have to say I do this, do that. You guys are just able to do it on your own now, right? And that's always been my goal. That's always been the goal of this. Remember, this is not just a signal server. It's not, right? I want everyone here to get to the stage where you can go out and give signals. Tandem, don't forget about this one, guys. Insane. Once again, medical. By the looks of things, that smiley face is going to happen. I really hope it does, because oh my god, can you imagine the context if it does? That would be insane. So I keep a close eye on this one. Either that or flip the 38234 into support for your entries. Tandem looks good. Now this is Churchill Capital Corp, right? I mentioned this one because they're going to be partnering to eventually when they go for the merger. Inflection shares jump. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So again, we mentioned this in the last stream. Yeah, this looks good. This looks ready to go. Honestly, this looks ready to go. Has the trend been shifted is the question. Hang on. I mean, the macro trend is obviously to the upside, but last lower high that led to the lower low hasn't technically been taken out yet. So, they're sneaky. It's not been taken out yet. So you probably still have more time than you think to actually add this on the grand scheme of things, but I already have some, right? And when this goes to inflection, hopefully this absolutely rips. This is LYB, Lyondell-based industries. Big M shape, 0.5886. That is a bat, right? And that's the whole reason I'm bringing this to you guys. You are at the area where it's completed, and bars. This gets as simple as this, guys. If you want to take a stab, just do this. You're talking a maximum 10% stop loss, and if you want the external highs taken out, it's like a 4.77 RR trade, 50% in the bag if you can, if this manages to move the way it does, easy. Lyondell-based industries, right? And of course, we've got key areas here. Look, like resistance, just look, support, right? That's where we are right now. Resistance to support. We can see that. So M-shaped completion at a key area. We're taking a shot if you want. And this is URAA. uranium, buddy. M shape, double bottom, breakout from trend line. It's gonna rip. Insane. Resistance, flip to support. This is one of those ones where I'd just buy a share and I'd buy some just to have some access to metals. We know metals is running, right? We don't know how long they're gonna run for, but they're running, and this one is so actionable. Obviously, it's not as good of entry as it was back at 31, right? But the other option you have is now, do you just sit on your hands and wait for a dip that might not come, or do you just want to slowly start laddering in, slowly, and then have a actual area where you're going to ladder in heavy, maybe towards 30s again if you visit. But the structure doesn't lie. It's insane. Look, resistance, right? There, resistance. Consolidation, break above, clean flip to support. What was resistance? Unsure, sure support. This is insane URA. So last stock I'll go over with you guys today. So like I said, I didn't want to make today too busy. I didn't want to make today too heavy, right? So we've done a crypto section with a few cryptos. We've done a stock section with a few stocks. There's obviously way more, guys. You know how big our stocks is. We did a stock stream already. We know how big our stocks list is, right? It's huge. Medical IPOs, quantum, right? Space, medical. There's loads. This is another one I was looking at. Is this today? Oh, no way, bro. What the hell? I was looking at this last night, literally last night, thinking, oh yeah, this looks like this is actionable. It's just gapped for... Damn, that is painful. I was looking at this last night thinking, yo, tomorrow I might get some of this. What the hell? That sucks ass. You don't understand. I want to punch the wall right now. I was up at like 2 a.m. last night looking at this. Fuck. But a tweak out. It's alright. Just breathe. Okay, it's what it is. This was gold reserve. I was looking at it last night because I was thinking, yo, this looks insane. The structure was insane. Fuck, man. That sucks, bro. You don't understand. That's so painful. Fuck's sake. Yes, whatever. Okay. Hopefully we get a gap fill soon. Oh, fuck off. Well, whatever. Okay. Yeah, I'll be looking at this because look, this is from 1984, right? We've been going sideways. Yeah. But why didn't I just buy it last night, bro? Fuck. As you can see, guys, sometimes shit like this does happen to me too. I'm not immune. I want to punch a wall right now. So that was the easiest. Obviously, I didn't know it was going to pump this morning, right? But I was, oh man. After shift, I was space barring as well. I was like, oh, this looks good. I'm going to buy some tomorrow. Oh, okay. Okay, let's see how this resolves, bro. Do I chase it? Oh, bro, the FOMO is so strong right now. I don't understand. Oh.
Like, I mean, would you even been able to buy it? Like,
yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's yeah.
You go down the low frame, it might have opened way up.
Yeah, that's probably it. The gaps. If it gaps, that means. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a way better way to look at it. I couldn't have bought this chat, so I'm fine. The universe is against me, but hopefully we get that gap fill.
Yeah, if that was pre-market open, I mean, that's what it would have filled as, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's OTC as well. Most exchanges don't allow you to retail to purchase OTC pre-market.
So that means there's hope that this gets pulled back into this, basically. Okay, guys, yeah. I want you to go there and put this down, okay? 372 to 185. If you get this coming back to this, I reckon just long term, have some money in it. I'm not a financial advisor. What I'd be doing is I'd be putting some money into this myself. And what you guys do is up to you. But for me, I'd be putting some money in this because bro, this is years, like this is 85, right? This is 1983. Sideways. But in that time, just like apart from this, whatever happened in 2016, look what is XRP, right? Look, this is log. If you break out this on log, what do you think happens to this? Like we've seen time and time again how volatile log breakouts can be, right? Even if it goes, bro, $13 doesn't seem far, right? But look, even from where we currently are, this is, by the way, this is not a crypto, right? Something like this, just the previous highs, that's a 468% move up. Like for a metal company, for saying it's been in this structure since when? 1991, like I said, is opportunity. That is insane. It's not the end of the world if the gap doesn't get filled, right? Even on that, if we catch that breakout retest there, that's going to be beautiful, guys. Get this in your watch list, please. Just do me a favor, get it in your watch list. I don't care if you don't buy, just watch how it develops, right? So you have reference for future for more stocks, more assets that look like this. Just keep a look at it. Bro, I had to do some sleuthing to get this, look, because look, this is the ticker. So I had to do some sleuthing to get the gold reserve, right? But yeah, so that looks good, man. Well, that's hopeful. There's interest. Right? This is TA being respected. That's what it is. Yeah, that's hopeful. Thanks, guys. Anti-Duke. I was tweaking out there for a second because all I saw was that. Like, oh shit, it's running away. Okay, that's good. Chevron, yes, CVX. I was looking at that last night as well, bro. With Trump doing his thing in Venezuela. Nike to card. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at that, bro. I'll take a look at that. Thank you for sharing. I know it's important to have all the perspectives, right?
I was actually looking at U.S. oil over the weekend, and it's actually looking big.
US oil, yeah, bro. It had a completed wave structure, and it's just it's just not getting any bids on the completion of that wave structure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rivian. Yes, sir. But Rivian's one of my biggest backs. What were you gonna say? Sorry, bro.
It's okay. It wouldn't surprise me if oil just dumped, and in the U.S., like right now, it's $2.40 a gallon.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if it went under $1 per gallon, which I don't know what the conversion is in liters.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, bro. Maybe Trump went to Venezuela because no one was buying US oil at 886. Who knows? He got mad. The harmonics weren't working. The FPI's at Scott Carney's door right now. Yeah, HIMS. We went over this in the stream last time as well, the big stock stream. I can go over HIMS. I can go over CIFR. We'll go over these real quick.
Check out Rivian as well.
Yeah, Rivian. We'll look at Rivian as well, bro. Yeah. Okay, Rivian, CIFR, and HIMS. We'll look at that. And CVX. Okay, let's get to it. So these are all already here. Apart from hang on, let me see if CIFR is my main stock. CIFR. No, it's not. So Cypher Mining, this one, yeah, bro. Bet Shaker. God damn. Oh yeah, there was DXYZ as well. I put this in the stocks chat, guys. But with SpaceX's IPO sometime this year, if you want to increase your chances of getting a good fill, right? You can try and get the IPO straight to Robinhood, so on and so forth. But it's going to be such a high IPO, you might not get a good fill. Owning things like this is another way to get some indirect exposure to it, right? Wait, hang on. Let's do this. Let's do this, and then yeah, CVX is there, so we'll go over that too. Okay, CIFR. Let's take a look at that first. Let's look at it on the weekly for now. Looks like a I mean, that looks really
The Bitcoin mining company.
Yeah, mining. The only miner I've had is Wolf, because Wolf and Mara, those two were the ones I had. Wolfstar.
Yeah, I sold my Wolf a little too early.
Yeah.
That was a great run.
Wolf had an insane run, bro, yeah. I was spamming that so much in Unity, saying, oh, this looks good, this looks good.
Yeah, I got in sub $2 on those.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
I mean, this looks good, bro. I don't know what to say. 1539, and I keep forgetting 2025 is no longer the year we're in. Okay, so very easy to manage right over here. Your line in the sand is a zone between 15 and 14. As long as you're above that, you can wait for that cheeky gaffle if you want, but you can just do this. Wait. In fact, let's do this. There we go. That paints a complete picture. See if you close the day above 1724. If you close the day above 1724, I'd chase this to 20 basically. If you don't close the day above 1724, wait until you do either close the day above 1724 or you get that rejection back down towards 1514. So either you close above 1724 and you attempt to chase, right? You attempt to chase above for the breakaway, or you don't, and you wait until you get above, or you do this. So let's see. This depends on, do you close above 1724 today or not? If you close above, try and chase this to 20. If you don't close above, you just wait, because this might go sideways within the box for a bit, low volatility, or it might come back down again to 1514 if Bitcoin has a pullback before going higher. So basically, close above this 1724 chase. Don't close above. Just wait until you get that clear that you're above 1724 to chase it to 20 plus. And that's because this is within a bullish pattern. So we have a 618 right over here, which can, obviously you're looking for a godly to deep godly first, right? Let's not just go straight for the extensions. So 786 is going to be at 2286. 886 is going to be at 2410. So 2224 would be your target, right? If this wave structure is indeed confirmed. And last but not least, if you exceed those, you have a crab at 1.618 all the way up over here. They're basically there, $33. So that's all above 17. These are all possibilities, okay? Easy. And you don't want to get below 2025, of course, because obviously then 12 and 9 are the two levels you're looking at. Next, let's do HIMS, because again, this is something I said looks really, really good last stream as well, right? And they've been, the chart's bullish. Look, 0.886, 618, you're within your structure, right? You're within your structure and you're within the trend line as well. So if you want the best bet, in fact, have I even drawn this accurately? One second. The trend line itself, because accuracy is a big part of getting these trends right. So let me do this. Let me get rid of these two brushes once. Let me hide the two horizontal, this, and this. That becomes... That's the harmonics. So just the trend line. Can I pivot it from lower is the question. So if we do it from the actual move, so depending on how you actually frame. So if you want to frame this, I think that's the best bet, or something like this. In fact, one sec. I might be just being stupid here. So on log, I mean, that's fine on log. So yeah, I'd say that's probably the line of best fit, right? Unless we do this. Again, if you want Fibonacci on your trends, then you're talking about speed fans or Fib speed resistance fans. I'll leave that here as like a last resort line for HIMS should we ever get into like a HIMS bear market, right? But otherwise, the trend line I'll be looking at is this one right here. So if that is the case, yeah, you're pretty much like, you know, where your demand line is, you're reacting around that demand line. You have your completion of the godly and the deep godly area. So, you know, if you can get above the 786 convincingly enough. So what you have here is a daily demand zone, no demand zone, but rather buy zone there. If you can get above, if you can accept above 33.93, then you have at least a confirmed completed godly. If you cannot and you keep chopping below, you might actually get that deep godly fill right at the 29. There's nothing here yet screaming buy me, in the sense that the structure here, right? You do have bullish divergence building on the daily, but higher time frame, has it correlated to higher time frame bullish divergence? I mean, it has. Yeah, you've got a higher time frame bullish divergence, but it could be better with more structure. So for now, as long as you're above 33.93, that'd be the bid to go to the upside on HIMS. If you lose 33.93 slash this grey box, I wouldn't be in this, in the sense that this is a pretty steep drop to 29, right? To the 886, 12%, 13%. If you want this long term, you can try to treat the whole zone as an entry. So maybe you have 25% position here. Say 50% for if you ever go to the 886 or 40, and the rest for just adding over time in between, so on and so forth, right? That's the zone you want to hold on a higher time frame basis if you want to level by level. 33.93 to the grey box, and then to the deep godly 886. But all in all, HIMS is that the area where you would be paying attention. Yes, this looks good. HIMS does look very, very good. And the business, they're a growing company, right? They bring in profit, so they're not like a failing company. So yeah, the fundamentals are there for why this would go higher. Okay, so that's HIMS. So we've done HIMS, we've done that. There's so many. There was Redwire Corporation, remember last time? That looks good, right? There was 2 more. So yeah, bro. I think that is right. Yeah. So I've got the Deep Garlic 86 on mine, but $21 would be the hop for HIMS. Yeah. Hang on, it's here somewhere. Hop, yeah, hop is further down. So if you do go that low, then it is what it is, right? And if you get below the 886, you'd go lower. But that's what I'm saying. Just treat them like individual lines if you want to keep your risk management tight. And if you want a particular zone, I'll treat this as a zone. Because if this is lost, then yeah, it's wraps. You go down to 21. So Scott Carney dubs it the harmonic optimum price. That's what it stands for. So 1.9 something, I believe, is the harmonic optimum price for most shapes, like 1.918 if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. It's the harmonic optimum price in terms of a ratio. It's going to be on his channel, bro, on Scott Carney's channel. He's got all his content online for free, so. Okay, that's interesting, bro. CFR. Okay, thanks for letting me know, man. 2024. And then, so we've done that. Rivian and CVX is the 2 left. So let's look at CVX first, and then we'll finish off with Rivian. CVX, breakout immediately. That's this gapped up, breakout. If you ever get that gap fill, that'd be a bid. Otherwise, you can probably try and chase. So hard. It's so hard to try and chase this stuff, isn't it? What to even do in situations like this. I personally would be very uncomfortable buying up here, but that's just the type of trader I am. Like, I'd be very uncomfortable buying up here. It wouldn't be a comfy buy, because the yearlies, if you look at the yearlies, it's yes, it's grinding up, but you're not at all-time highs yet. But you're very close to all-time high. So if things go wrong, hang on, gap fill. Yeah. If you close above the gap, then you're gonna try and chase this to all-time highs. I think that's as simple as that for Chevron. If you close above the gap fill, you chase that. If you don't close above the gap fill, then you're probably going to chop around between these 2 gaps. Fill that one. A fill of that one you could probably bid on Chevron. Get a breakout retest of the trend line as well. Something like this maybe. Like something like that perhaps. But this is one of those situations where it's very hard. I would not bid right now because you're going straight to a gap fill. So you could be like, you could be the aggressive buyer that is currently buying the passive shorts, basically, right? The limit sellers. And if you cannot absorb all the limit sellers here, then this green candle will not mean for much in the grand scheme of things. So I personally probably wouldn't actually do anything right now on Chevron until we get some confirmation we're actually going to accept above the breakout, so on and so forth. So close to resistance, as you can see. Bidding down here was all fine and well, and even then it wasn't an optimum bid, right? This move up was very this move up. If you look at this chart, even in hindsight, right? In hindsight, it might look obvious, oh, it's pumped, but it's not. Even in hindsight, I can't see exactly why this would be the one level you pump off, right? Unless there's like some sort of yearly level there. So if I was to go and put some yearly levels down, so there's a buyer zone. What's that where we pump from? So you had a 149, you had a yearly level high, right? So above 149, sure, you go higher, but this would not have been an easy bid. because it's not like you got a breakout, retest, so on and so forth. You know, you broke down, confirmed breakdown, and then you just closed above, open and closed above. So you know, you would have basically chased this trade. So this wouldn't even have been a comfy entry. So this wouldn't have been like an A+ setup anyway, right? So this is just, yeah, this just if you caught it, in a sense, you definitely got lucky if you caught this move from this low, because TA wise, I don't see like an A+ reason why you would be long in this for no reason, right? Because, you know, what would be nice is if they came back down, right? You'd want to see, like, look, this. You got the raid, come back down, confirm, right? Confirm here. That's what you'd want to see. So, this wasn't like an A+ move. So, yeah, let's see. I wouldn't buy this right now. Not financial advice, just what I can only say what I do. I wouldn't buy this right now. The context isn't strong enough for me. Trump, you know, kidnapping whatever his name was, caused this move up, of course. Yeah, add resistance, add gap, no confirmation we've cleared that. I wouldn't buy this yet, bro. Myself. Speaking for myself, of course. Thanks guys. Everyone who joined the stream, thanks guys. I know people are clearing out. Yeah, plus like you've said, like you've just pointed out, that's a completed wave structure, right? That's a 886 by the looks of things. So yeah. And the last one, Rivian for my bro Anti. Let's get Rivian down for everyone really, because I still think Rivian does very, very well this cycle. I'm still in this. I'm not sold a single bit on my Rivian yet. This is just a breakout, retest. Okay, if you can flip this, you're literally flipping. Look at this. Into support, 2022 6-month low. I can put 2025 levels on as well now, which I haven't done yet, right? But I can. You guys can also in your own time. But there's nothing to say to this, bro. This looks bullish, right? That's a breakout. That's a retest. Even if you go deeper, even if you come all the way back down to like 17, like that is clear. It's like send it. Just send it. It's a matter of time, in my opinion. If they fail this breakout, I'm going to be so disappointed, because this is one of the best looking stocks of 2025. This was one of the best look in terms of like the compression, what the composite man was doing, so on and so forth. This was the best looking stock. So, you know, we're looking to get above 23.46, 30. Like I said, 40. You get above that, like bro, send it to $3 targets, 3-digit targets. Sorry, just send it to 3-digit targets. Would be insane to see Rivian at 3 digits, and I hope it happens in 2026. I'd be over the moon, and also like retiring off my main pool of stocks probably. So, if it goes like, you know, like 200 plus, bro, insane. Can you imagine? Like a 10x. That's like that. I'm fantasizing there, right? That's me giving myself a chub. But you know, the actual like TA wise, let's keep our heads on 30 to 40, like above 23, and then that's just like the baby range. If you ever get above that, that's when the expansion phase occurs. So yeah, Rivian looks amazing. What can I say? Nothing much. That's why I'm not doing much, right? I bought when I needed to. I told you guys to buy when I needed to. Now until something breaks, I'm not doing anything, bro. I'm chilling. Yeah. But yeah, that was Rivian. Hopefully that was helpful. Anyways, guys, this has been, how long have we been going for? Yeah, about 2 hours. Not that long, right? I promise around 2. Just 18 minutes over. Thank you everyone. Thank you guys for joining. Right, today was a full stream, so it was nice to have a full stream. And like I said, I'm going to be traveling back to Nepal for my grandfather's 1 year. So when I'm there, I will be very busy. But after I'm back, around early February is when we will get the Wyckoff and Elliott Waves lesson started for the people who paid for that. And also, when I'm in Nepal, I'll try to get the next batch of the group sessions, core and advanced, started as well when I got time. But yeah, this one just wanted to do because obviously New Year. I've been quite busy with my new ventures, so got some time today. So I thought, yeah, let's update you guys, see how everyone's doing. No problem, guys. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Don't worry about it at all. But anyway, I'll end this recording here, and I will see you guys soon. Yeah. So let me end this recording.